the soul cannot exist without meaning. It'll go crazy. There's nothing that scares a man more than living a life with no meaning. That's why those channels that are about like eating food, fast food, and then, they gain 400 pounds and then they start to like try and kill themselves. Yeah, anytime you grow a career without meaning, you're headed for suicide, right? And I don't talk about like a physical suicide. Most suicide on earth is not physical. Most suicide is the death inward, not outward, meaning the death of your soul. Want is imaging. And most people lie about their imaging. They say, hey, I want to be a YouTuber. Hey, I want to be... No, you don't. Your background, the world you're in, will show you what your want is. If you say, I want to be a YouTuber, but there's like bitches and alcohol around you, that's not your want. Your want is like to reconnect with your family and mom and shit like that. That's why you're drinking the baby bottle and stuff. The want is the imaging. And most people's imaging is wrong. They're 100%... Bro, do you know when the unconscious becomes conscious, most people start crying, that they're relieved, they're finally they can stop chasing their own tail. And yeah, the scary part is, no one wants to face it, but your want isn't even your want. And it's so sad when you figure that out. But then you make millions of miles of progress, right? Or if you ever see a human's want align, right, with his needs, like his imaging and all that, when this shit aligns, you could and the whole world gets the fuck out of that person's way. But most people are phonies, right? They want something completely different from what they work hard at. And here's the scary part is, bro, most careers are working hard at something that you're going to eventually let go. Like, it's not really your want. And there's even in Eastern Buddhist kind of thinking, they say, or Jung would say, learn your skills well and be prepared to let them go. Because if you don't, you're going to destroy yourself. People will attach to certain skill sets, right? Like Sneeko in documentaries, and then he evolves to being a streamer. That's a perfect example of how to evolve, right? Where he doesn't like pigeonhole himself.
Laziness comes from the idea that you're eventually going to do it and you're eventually going to get there. However, when you do eventually attempt to do it, you're going to be a weaker version of yourself with baggage, almost like debt. So if you don't do something for months or years, that thing you're trying to do becomes 10 times harder. And you don't have the life experience to know it's going to get harder. So around 25, you start panicking and reading books and shit because you go, holy fuck, it took me 25 years to get that shit done. So you got to go learn the hard way. But that's why I always say you got to, listen to your elders and your parents and stuff like that, because experience comes with this truth pill that cannot be bought, nigga. There's this truth pill in life where think of like sports and fitness, how hard it is if you off it for a while. Now think of that for your thoughts. The cool thing about growing up and death anxiety and all that interplay in the collective unconscious that bleeds through into your conscious mind, right? The cool thing is, a lot of people who never read and failed classes in high school, their brain shifts later in life when they're 25 and they love to read and they want to compensate for that if they have a healthy psyche where they actually want to improve. That's the cool thing, which I had no idea. It didn't happen to any of my high school buddies. They're all fucking retards. I love you guys, but fucking retards, bro. I could spin circles around them. When you put me on a podcast, I sound like a fucking genius compared to the average guy. And that's like, what, a couple years of reading? But I'll tell you this. I read fucking libraries of books in a year. That shit can be done. You just stop listening to music and switch to audiobooks and fucking you're done. That's all you need. And I even passively do audiobooks where I'm not listening, right? I never went back to music unless I'm driving around town. And even then, but I'm telling you this, if you do not make that shift from retard, Chad, jock, whatever, to businessman, oh my God, is the world gonna rape you?
I moved out of my parents' house a couple weeks ago and already miss my family a lot.
Oh, you
what
miss
should
them?
I do?
How do you not miss adventure? You're starting your process of individuation of fighting your dragon. That dragon you fight is for the next 70 years. You better get cozy fighting it. You can't be with mommy and daddy, all right? Another thing, if you're around your parents like that too much, they get anxiety, they grow old faster. They want to see a millionaire son. When I said, I don't know if it was on Bradley Martin's or whatever, but I said, all depression is self-aggression. And when you start, not finish, not when you start your individuation process, it elevates some of the depression off you. And when you're going through it, not when you finish, I swear to God, the cure to depression. I always say God first, but they want the second answer. And the second answer, God wants you to have experience in this world and live your life and sweat by the brow, work hard. I'm telling you, you must be individuated. I promise you, Bradley Martin, Zherka, and Destiny, very different characters, do not deal with depression the way they used to, because they are individuated enough to where people on the street know who the fuck they are. They've helped enough people, you know what I mean? And then I'm telling you, there's something that happens when you guys get the fuck out of living with your bros and stuff and go out into the world. And life is going to feel like a movie when you do. Every single day of your life will not have that feeling of another day. You're going to have that feeling of what's to come. I mean, when people look at me, they go, how do you debate these fucking intellectuals online if you're just a bouncer, a dropout, failed every class? It's because I'll debate my twin brother. And he told me depression is just self-aggression. And he said, when you think of it, you're not active, you're not stimulated. Mm-hmm. That's why you don't shower, you don't move. And if you're not moving like a river, you know you're going back that way. And you're either going to depression or going to success. Someone who's always in trouble with the cops, an outlaw, what does he really want? What is he asking God for every day? Because every second is prayer. Every desire you have is prayer, is a form of it, right? What is an outlaw who wants to just keep doing? I'm not talking about in the laws of the city. I'm talking about the laws of, the harmony of God's world that he wants for you. You're going against that. What does an outlaw want? An outlaw craves law and order. That's why they keep doing crazier shit till they get locked up, and then they have peace of mind. They're in prison. So when you focus on balancing solar and lunar psyche, you'll see who you are, because it's always your unconscious that has to push through is always a mirror. It's always a mirror. So if you're always doing drug dealing shit, you're begging God for law and order. If you're doing law and order every single day, you're begging God for freedom. You feel kind of trapped from the system, right? And that equaling opposites gets you very far in life. And people are like, well, that's too simple to grasp. Like, no, it's easy to grasp. It's not easy to hold. You're going to forget tomorrow. I guarantee you're going to be a loser tomorrow. You know how many thoughts you have to, I'd say, maybe 1,000 thoughts a day you have to say in your own brain. I don't need that. So when Mike has an impulse of go to this party, who cares? I'll just take the punch, get some easy views. He needs to have the mindset that go, I don't need that. I don't need that. Right now he's operating in needs. Man, I need this content today. Why do you need this content today? You don't. You don't even have to work for a year. You'll be good. Like, the need scares me, that like people get attached to needs, right? The soul animates the body. That's how important fitness is. I know I'm not the guy right now to say that, but the soul animates the body because spirit animates the soul. Meaning, if we're focusing on our heart, desires, astral, it's very connected to soul. But it's separate. If you're focusing on desires too much, you will have worldly possessions that dominate and rape you. You'll have nothing. There's plenty of rich dudes more depressed than you right now. That's not a cope. Look at those 50-year-old faggots in Ferraris. They're not jumping in that Ferrari with joy. My first day on the internet, on that Raj Patel Indian shit, I said ego is a good thing. And I'm so glad to say I was right. In Jungian terms, remove ego's bounds and make your ego boundless to complete the individuation process of integrating your shadow traits and everything wrong with you into who you end up in life, who you need to be. Life is about discovering your own myth. I'm saying this after you're saved with Christ, of course. So you need an ego. You can't separate it, dude. It's there. It's a part of the self, and you feed the ego real experiences and nourishment. You feed it, make it boundless, so you're a Jedi master of experiences, right? That the whole point is mastery, and that's not an old man, old sage archetype. There's piano masters at 22 years old, bro. Like, come on, all right? I'm going to break it down in numbers of 3, not because I'm superstitious, but it's because your brain remembers it better, Tesla style. We're going to have a mini goal that feeds into the medium goal and the long-term goal, right? So we're going to feed the day, the moon cycle month, and the year. The ego, what does it pull from the collective, from the depths? It's got a sword, and that sword is called will. To will. Think that's what you want to do with your manifestation, whatever the fuck you want to call it. You will success into 2024. I'm not talking to chat, I'm talking to myself right now. You guys have no fucking idea. You have no idea how much time we've wasted. It's not a bad thing, because just like dudes in their 50s, the libido, soul, desire, sexual energy, and loving energy bursts into your work. There are 4 macro archetypes you guys should focus on and ask yourself who you are. So we'll look at my notes. This stuff I didn't leak, but I might as well do it right here. Chat, who are you in your storyline? And I know you're going to be a mixture of them, but it will be either the category of you want to leave a mark on the world. Category of number 2, you want to connect to others. Category of a spiritual journey. And category of providing structure. These 4 is the only, when you shake someone's hand, they're one of these 4. That's it. You have to let go to become the next sense of self. If you don't know by sense of self what I mean, you make 100 promises to yourself that you don't keep every day. Meaning there's different I's. There's 100 Zherkas saying, I will do this, and I will do that, and I will do... There's 100 different, and they fight each other. Those I's have to start being congruent. They all have to be fusing into one character. That's why hard work is like the ultimate recipe, is because the I's start lining up. They're, I am hardworking, I am hardworking, I am hardworking. But if there's I am hardworking, I am this, I am also that, I am also... The more I ams you have floating around in your mental, the more mental retardation you'll go through, right? And I'm not against chaos. Sometimes you want to individuate quicker. You jump into chaos, destroy your life. I get why people do that. But repeating the chaos is kind of retarded. I can understand why man goes through chaos. You can't avoid it. But repeating chaos is retarded. If the world does not remember you, you did not light a candle for anyone else. You did not bring anyone closer to goodness, which is God, right? And you didn't bring them closer into them choosing the Savior, right? So if you didn't do any of that, you feel useless. And there's nothing more traumatizing to even a piece of shit human than being useless. Like I always say, whether you have a job or are unemployed, you're going to feel fatigue. It's just when you're unemployed, you're going to have mental fatigue, and it's worse. And there's no relief. That's why you should work your ass off. You shouldn't work your ass off because it's the right thing to do. You should work your ass off and sweat by the brow because it comes with relief. But staying, chilling all day, eating pretzels, that never comes with relief. The food, you can't even taste the food anymore. If you're ever afraid of something, it doesn't go away just because you don't do it. It actually lingers in the back of your skull, and you feel it every moment, every waking minute of your life, torments you until you have to do that thing, and then you'll fail at that thing because you're doing it with a cluttered mind. So it sounds cliche, but if you don't tackle on your obstacles and your problems, the stuff you're going through immediately, like I say, if you don't punch the dragon in the nose first, the biggest thing, the worst thing you could do is play that game where you go, if I don't move, the dragon won't bite me. But this is life. that dragon's going to devour you if you at least start with the punch on the nose, not because it hurts the dragon, not because you did anything, but you feel, oh wow, I hit it first. I can be active in the world, in this world of dragons. As soon as you realize you can be active, you can start ducking, running, jumping. You move from these dragons. You get stronger. You slay some of them. Some beat you, and then you come back and you realize, oh shit! At least I'm active. At least I'm going places. At least I'm getting closer to the castle, the $1 million, the great life. But if you freeze, oh man. The best advice I can give for those who are depressed, it's a lack of identity, my dude. That when you walk around town, nobody says he's the blacksmith, he's the swordsman, he's the librarian, or whatever the fuck. It's when you are John fucking Zherka and the community knows who I am, they know what I'm about. Every morning I wake up, I go, I got to do more building of the Zherka. But if you're unemployed and you're one day smoking weed, another day a basketball player, another day you're fucking reading a book, you have no idea who you are open to the darkest thoughts on earth.
For sure.
We think of Dwayne Johnson. He wakes up, he knows what he has to do. When you pop off and you're here, I'd say I'm middle way, he's up there, and we're all going up. Never forget the memory, the taste, everything about being broke. The second you forget that, no knockout power, no work ethic, no charisma. The second you change who the fuck you are, it's over.
Every human on earth has to produce love, or else they seriously degenerate in all sorts of ways. I'm not just talking about afterlife. And some people love skateboarding, some people love swimming, some people love tennis. You're supposed to generate love on earth. Some people love their wife, some people love their kids, but it has to be here. And I think there's a uniting one, which is family-based, and then there's a separating one, which is freedom-based. And, I teach one aspect of it. I don't promote stuff that I don't do. So I'll promote marriage fully when I'm married, right? But I promote the philosophy of freedom, that if a human is not free, if a human doesn't do what they want, that they're seriously getting ripped off in this lifetime, badly, by themselves, really. Definitely, if you don't manage your desire world correctly, meaning if you don't have a spiritual practice where you go into your own temple and do the inner work of gratitude, some people will do meditation, some people will do active imagination, but if you don't have a practice you do daily that says, nothing is coming to me, nothing's happening today, I'm not making anything new today. Literally nothing is going to happen to me today, and I'm still going to have a good day. I'm still going to enjoy it. That part of a spiritual practice is the most important, because then when something good does happen to you, it feels like a flooding bonus. But man, is it dangerous to have the Western mentality of more, more, more. Like, I think this is why the grind people, I promote grinding, but the people who don't understand that the brain, think of the breath in and out, active and passive, you have to have a passive spiritual practice. Some people can call it a psychological practice. If you just think like Andrew Tate, more, 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 you're a faggot. That's literally what faggots do. That's why they go from one boyfriend to 100 dudes coming on them in a penthouse. More is never the answer. It's always more happy with what you have. And this practice, if you don't understand, if you don't have a system to enjoy what you have right now, you turn into those. Have you ever seen those YouTubers who start losing it because they're not relevant? Eastern mentality is about like well-being decides. It's all about well-being. And the Western mentality is well-being is on the other side of desire, which is horrific. That's how you turn manic like Alex Jones. And, that's how Alex Jones got so fat. More, right? The more translates into everything you do. That's why I think if you don't understand how to enjoy what you have, and really, if you really say, hey, Zherka, I believe in the philosophy of freedom, what's the first step I need to do to feel what you're feeling right now? I'd say the first step is get rid of everything you have. And the less furniture, the less clothes, the less stupid gadgets in your room, the more empty your house is, the better you will feel. You have the energy of Today I can wake up randomly, buy a ticket and fly somewhere, even if there's no money there. Do you have that energy in you that like one day you could just wake up and do something very, very not normal? If you don't have that energy, you are not free. Because
Yeah.
I'll tell you this, your work will always be on your table, but freedom is the highest value you could have in today's world. Because I mean, we all have family and stuff. That love is here. Don't get me wrong. Love is here, but freedom is not here. And people are like, well, you said financial freedom. Actually, the least free people are, the least free you can be is not if you're broke. The least free you can be is if you have money, especially if you get made $1 million. Like, I'm not saying getting rich is not good, right? I'm saying when people get, let's say you make $1 million, you put it into a house, you're locked into that house. You can't travel, you can't do anything. You're not free anymore. If everything you do is for money and career and stuff, that's very metallic. There has to be a wonder, a sense of imagination to the things you do. If you don't have spirit and material, meaning, you know, in the moment and in the money, you get very fucked up in the world. Like most people who eat an apple, they don't even know the color of the apple. Oh, it's kind of yellow or red, or it's a mixture of. They don't even look at the apple when they eat it. They're looking at their phone. Most people can't even taste their food because they're looking at a device. The trap of success is that you turn into Sneeko, where he's always got something to do, but he's never like really psychically whole. He looks like Sneeko reminds me of a man who's running away from the boogeyman. He's always running somewhere. Have you noticed that? And it never ends. It literally never ends. It's like there's what's it called? Aurora boreas, or it's basically the snake eating its own tail. And I see this with so many Westerners. And I'm like, wow, if people without the sport part of spirituality, that inner work, the sport, the hard part of spirituality, people who don't have that are sneakos. And Sneako's very earthy. He's on earth, makes money and stuff like that. But when he talks, it's short breath, it's running to something, it's almost like fear based, right? I'm looking at the eastern part of the world, which I don't like that much. I'm looking at the West, and now I'm really understanding the two-headed eagle, where it's like, my God, if you're not balancing it, you can't go on one side and be sane. You can't be sane. You can be too boring being about well-being, and you can be way too anxious being around that Sneeko energy, right? Like, Zherka, what are we doing now? What are we doing now? We're living life. What the fuck are you? Relax, bro. It's always there. It's always going to be there. And I'm worried that Sneeko will be sitting in a Ferrari turning to me and saying, what do we do now? And to me, that's like the biggest failure you can experience on earth, where it's like, dude, you're in a Ferrari. Okay. There's nothing now. How about you enjoy 1 minute of your life on earth before you regret everything?
How do you have small talk with people? Small talk comes from accepting who they are. It doesn't come from any Tyrion Lannister motive, like what do they want and I'll give it to them and blah, blah, blah. And that's manipulation. Small talk comes from accepting who they are. As soon as a human feels accepted, they can talk about trees. Oh yeah. They can talk about a sequoia, a redwood. The stream that comes down from the Christ, or the source, or whatever you atheists want to call it, this energy will always give you enough energy to do what you want. It's just you don't have anything you want to do. If you go see your buddies, you go see your parents, you go see your brothers and sisters, if you do these linking connections to love, linking to the source, actually revive you. When you're disconnected from the norm, that should be the norm. When you're disconnected from being human, tribals, like on the tree of Awa with Avatar, then you start to crystallize into those, whatever those streamers become, those really ugly types of souls, right? There's things you do, like when you play with your dog and stuff like that. These are all one step up the ladder of your day, and then you go to this point where you go back into your studies, feel revived in a different way that caffeine cannot do, right? So we don't look at the mental, we look at spirit. Everything's coming down from spirit, and then we look at the mental. You notice that? Why are you so motivated when you have a girlfriend? When you just started talking to a girl and you guys like each other? Why is there so much? Because of love. Why with your homie that's really funny, there's so much motivation with him? Let's start a podcast together, bro, because of love. You know, a good, happy session with your family. Why are you so recharged and refreshed? Because of love. They have made the word cringe, though. Yeah. They made it cringe to say the word love. Yeah. But in medieval times, that word was sacred. People, when they said love, everyone stopped doing something stupid. You know, it was very different back then. If you are conscious towards your psychic development every day of your life, in 10 years, you will be Einstein. Even if no one notices, you will always be like, whoa, I handle problems way better than most of the world. I'm top 1% male. But if you just have like seasons where you win, seasons where you lose, conscious, unconscious, whatever, life will go by and it'll be very blurry to you.
If you raised 8 billion people on Earth, children, with the facts that humans live to 200 years, the new generation would all be at 180, 190 years. Because that's how strong placebo is, because it's not placebo. In ancient times, it was called magic. You can change the game. If you give them real food, you give them another 100 years. In the Bible, it's all the way up to 900 years. I genuinely think the guys who grow taller in life have better imaging. Like, they believe they could grow taller. Yeah, it's been talked about for thousands of years that there's a subjective and an objective truth that overlap, where your free will that is ordained by God can affect the material world, and your body can affect things. And I believe that.
You have a lunar state and a solar state. Basically, your solar state is your conscious, winning, studying, whatever you're doing. And your lunar state is more absorbing whatever's around you. So in my lunar state, I'll do this thing where, you know, when I'm sleepy, but I'm not sleeping, I'm just napping, but I'm still awake. Yeah. That's when I do my audiobooks. I finish 8 hours of an audiobook, even if I have to cheat. So sometimes I'll drink a lot of wine, makes me sleepy. That way I don't look at my phone for text. I finish the audiobook. Then the next morning, 1 hour all, eyes open, I do the audiobook conscious in a solar state. I recall all of it. It's almost like, and I used to get so mad that, I spent 6 hours of the audiobook sleeping. I didn't even hear it. It's even better! If you're asleep and you're hearing it, you recall it even deeper. But I'm not gonna lie, like, if you're stupid, this stuff doesn't work. You should just study normally. But for me, if I hear something when I'm about to fall asleep and my most awake state the next day, that's the male and female brain. That's the conscious, subconscious. That's all I need. And that's what the Star of David is. This male is penis, fire. Woman is drop of water. So it's going down. And then you fuse that, and it's the male and the female brain come together for genius gnosis. Right? The way I see it is they overlap, but your mission is timing, right? That's why, like, a lot of girls hate dating me, because I'll be like, it's 11. Not that I'm saying 11's a number. It's like, I've done this for years. Don't talk to me. And I'll lock myself in a room, and I'll just enter that kind of like, because the sun is active, the moon is passive. The male is active, he fucks, the woman gets fucked, she's passive. In my passive state, this is when I want to absorb stuff so I sound intelligent on my stream. But I spent my whole life just sleeping to music and gay shit. I had no idea you can like learn way quicker doing this shit. And I only learned this like 2 years ago. If I knew this at 20 years old, like I'd have a regimented, it's not studying. You love it. Studying is like you force it. I love to enter this state. I love when my dreams overlap with what I'm learning. Like sometimes the stuff I'm learning, it starts surrounding me in the dream, and then I start speed learning it. You need a ritualistic walk to kill brain fog. And I mean like a 2-hour walk a day. Music or no music, at the end of the walk, your thoughts start flowing again. Do not think you could just stay at home, bro. I don't care if it's snowing outside, you need that walk. There's something, it cannot be a workout. Workout's something else. Because workout sometimes can make you like, you go there to kill brain fog and you get way too exhausted. And I'm saying it has to be oxidative pathway, a cardio kind of remedy. Because especially in alchemy, the more you heat something up in degrees, the more you can change its state. That means, you have to sweat on that walk. This is what alchemy is. If you go for a 2-hour walk, hike, when you're sweating, you're heating up the organism, you're changing states. The brain fog starts leaving, and if you don't have an answer at the end of that walk, you didn't linger in the feeling enough. So when I go on a walk, I go, all right, I'm a millionaire. If in my walk, I don't feel Sneeko laughing next to me, telling me how much money we're making, if that image is not there and it's just me, immediately I start panicking, which you're not supposed to, but you're supposed to have that walk like it's the good news walk. Your mom FaceTimed you, everyone's healthy, Sneeko's telling you you're making a lot of money, stuff like that. That's how you want to have, that's the seeds you want to water, and look for the emotion. So if I have that visualization with Sneeko giving me the good news, but there's no emotion, you're not watering the seed. It's just a dead seed. A walk's more important than a workout. A walk's more important than your career. A walk's more important, bro. I'm telling you, if you are depressed, the workout does help depression, but there's this walk. It's called the daydream walk. We call it day gazing in my internal server. So day gazing is I don't know if you're familiar with Neville Goddard.
No.
He's the one who broke down an esoteric part of the Bible he goes a little far, but he pretty much says you can pretty much teleport to different places with your imagination. He goes far with it, but man, I'm telling you guys, like, the walk is ritualistic, right? So before I go on a date with a girl, I'll go on a walk and imagine her laughing at all my jokes. And then on the date, it literally starts happening. The same jokes.
You did that on your Fresh and Fit, the best podcast, right?
Oh, in Fresh and Fit, I'd sit in my room in a hotel for hours and Myron would be laughing. And then I'd be like, oh, wait, I don't see Myron laughing. I would pace around my hotel till I'm sweaty. Still, I don't see Myron. Put music on. On the shit. Oh, Myron laughed. Oh, Myron likes this egotistical Zherka. And then I'll just be drenched in sweat. And I'll go on a walk for 3 to almost 5 hours to really crack myself. And as soon as I'm at the peak of exhaustion, I used to crack an Adderall and Red Bull and sit down exhausted. And my brain would go, dude, you can't not talk right now. And Myron would go, Zherka, are you ready? And then my brain would go, second wind. And I get this second wind, and I'd go so much harder, and I'd be so afraid of losing it. I wouldn't even let Sneeko or anyone else speak. Yeah, I'm telling you, at the peak of exhaustion, there's a theta state, brainwave state. So where genius is in between the solar and lunar consciousness. It's in between. When Sneeko's right gazing, falling right into sleep, you know that mode?
Right now.
That mode is genius state. That's flow state.
Sleep deprivation.
Right? Also, another thing, bro, if you're ever reading a book and you're reading it when you're half asleep, you will dominate that book. If you've done the book conscious, unconscious sleeping, and in between is that theta state. This is the most important thing. Tesla talked about it. Einstein talked about it. Einstein had this interesting practice that when he'd get sleepy, he'd hover over a table and wait until his pencil dropped. And the pencil would wake him up when it dropped, and then he'd write his genius idea. In between this unconscious and conscious state is genius levels of activity. I can't reach it like Einstein. I can't reach it at a table. That's why I do 4-hour hikes, and they cannot be lifting weights. It has to be full-on exhaustion in a fasted state, so you're in that Ezekiel's vision type state. You guys have been in this state before. If you guys play football, soccer, in your most exhausted moment when you start just flowing. Yeah. You know, in sports, when you start flowing, that is that state. So that flow state is super important. Now, if you don't believe me, watch me go on Fresh and Fit, let's say tomorrow. And you're going to be like, what happened to Zherka? Because now that I make money, I don't really take the preparation that serious. Back then, it was like, bro, I need money to live out here. You know, it was very different. So I would take it very serious. But you know, it has to be a flat mind. It can't be you getting anxious. I got to stream later. It has to be like the walk. You have to
meditative.
You have to go into it's a Western meditation practice, so it's imaginative. Meditative is blank. Imaginative is colorful, like with imagination, which Sneeko couldn't meditate. He's too Western-minded. Jung said people like us, Westerners, go. If they try meditation, they go crazy. We need to use imagination because we're Westerners. Meditation is a Chinese practice or an Asian practice. But again, that go phase is Western, and that meditative unconscious phase is the Eastern. This is that double-headed ego and masonry. Now, check this out. There's no shot Sneeko will do that walk tomorrow without thinking, I got to finish. I got to do this. He's not going to be good.
Because I have expectations.
Now, when Mr. Beast does the walk, this is the first thing he tells himself. I can make a YouTube video whenever. I could go for a 1-month walk. I'm not in a deadline. For my clients who want to know how the mind works, and it's very scary when you figure this out, I will have, let's say Sneeko's my client, right? He pays me money and I break down how to always linger in a state, right? Because you want to anchor yourself in a feeling. whatever the anchor is. It could be a symbol, a cross, it could be a song, it could be whatever. But check this out. If Sneeko came up to me, chat, look at this. I would say, Sneeko, we're going to do a 7-day spiritual cycle of you are not allowed to climb ladders. You are not allowed to climb a ladder no matter what happens this month. Every night before you go to bed, you're going to do a meditative practice for me. For 20 minutes, as you're calming down, entering theta state, say to yourself, I will not climb a ladder. I will not climb a ladder. And whatever you imagine, who cares? Just keep saying, I will not climb a ladder. Every one of my students who does this will find themselves randomly climbing a ladder. And they'll be like, what the fuck? And I took that from Goddard. And bro, I'm telling you, that's how the brain works. You say, I'm not going to climb a ladder. I'm not going to climb a ladder. What do you think you're imagining? What do you think is coming that week, that month? Yeah, your brain doesn't work on, I will do this, I won't. It works on imagination. I will not climb a ladder. I will not. It's very, now, we don't use the ladder example because obviously that's like rare. We'll use an example like, I will not wear a red shirt. And he'll promise me. And every night he'll focus, I will not wear a red shirt. But as he's saying that, he's imagining himself wearing a red shirt, which means within the week he's watering that seed and he will randomly put it on. And it's not like you put it on to notice. He'll do stuff. Sneeko will literally grab cups. He'll fucking make something in the kitchen, and then he'll look in the mirror and go, oh, I fucked up, Zherka. And I'll be like, that's exactly how the brain works. Again, we're going to always repeat this. Let's say you want a girlfriend. You have a girlfriend. Start talking to her. Even if she doesn't exist, start joking with her in your head, and you're going to freak out how fast it happens. Like, all I had was visions of a random, all I want to do is a Dragon Ball stream with a girl. I don't know why that kept coming up to me. And then I was doing it with that ride girl in that house. And I was like, damn, even the ones that I don't train for happen. But now, if you have negative thoughts, I've got news for you. That is the most demonic shit you've ever heard. If you have a depressed, demonic mind where it gets sad, guess what your week's going to look like. Guaranteed everything that you feel, all that misery, I have news for you, bro. You're going to have another month of it. That's how scary getting out of a state is, right? That's why if I find myself in a laughing state, I drag it on longer, right? So just stay in winning states or neutral. Don't be like Sneeko, who's always in a winning state. That's how you burn out, right? The neutral is fine. You can have neutral days where you're not winning. You can't have loser state. Neutral or winning. That's all my clients do. How do you get out of that negative inner state? It's super simple. You're in a depressed negative state. Imagine yourself winning and having everything you have. You don't need anything. You already have it. That fulfills the desire. You find it calm and linger in it. That's why when I go on those ritualistic walks, I walk like a millionaire because I go, there's no way I'm making 80 bands just this month and never the rest of the year. It's not lowering. I'm making 80 bands every month on my neutral, and it only goes up. When I walk, I live it. I tell the world, you get it? I can't. Here's chat. This is what's going to terrify you. Even when you're conscious, you're unconsciously moving. Once you understand that, you'll realize how much of your life you've wasted. And now, chat, want to hear something crazy? If Sneeko said, have a flawless day where we peak, this is going to be our only golden moment, opus magnum, whatever, opus magnus stream, whatever it's called. If he said that to me, I would do an 8-hour walk and visualize the whole stream. Even if the whole visualization's wrong, I would linger in the feeling of not laughing, making a shit ton of views, right? That's how much emotion I'll put into it. And everyone's like, doesn't that waste your energy for the stream? Only if you have food. If you're in a fasted state, you can, I swear to God, you can keep going, right? If you know your body, if you're like me. Visualization doesn't work unless it's now. Hustler mentality of future Ferrari, future Bugatti, it has to be now.
Zherka donated $5. How do you start and end your days in your most ideal scenario?
Oh, I don't have ideal scenarios. Every day is the same. Ideal, you're going to fuck that up. Wake up, shower to Beethoven. I know it's hard to grasp. I know you don't want to do it. Play Beethoven and take a long shower. Don't leave the shower until you are at 0 and calm. When you're calm, sit at your desk and tell yourself, I don't need to do anything, I want to. Your hand is going to itch to write down your goals quickly. slowly. Pick up the pen and write down my next 4 hours I will be doing this. Then after that, this. Then I will eat at this time, like military. Like you have a timer to eat. Then I will do this. Then it'll be my pre-night ritual, shower, all that. And then I'll set up my phone with a timer that goes off if something big is missed. Like, oh, go do it. But I'll check myself. I won't rush to it. I will tick the things off my boxes of my to-do list, correct? And I won't go to bed till everything's done. But in between me working, I'll spend an hour, random hours, relaxing, going for a walk, so my brain is clear. And then I sit down and I record a how to deal with breakup video. And I make another 70 bands a month, bitch. The old me on Twitch would be like, listen, I can do all this. And, bro, you know, when I was on Twitch, bro, sometimes I'd be so into grinding that 2 days would pass before I shower. That's fucking, you know how much oil that is on ruining my face? It's like when you're in party mode. You go to raves and you don't shower, then you go to the club after the rave and then you look in the mirror and you go, what am I doing? Like, I'm ugly, bro. Like, my skin is ruined. How addicted are you to sitting in your bed, your computer room, and doing nothing? You love L's. There's nothing more addictive than taking L's. Like, if you can't get creative or can't get an idea going, go for a 2-hour walk, get exhausted, and for some reason, your ideas start flowing like butter. If you're flowing like butter, crack Red Bulls, stay up all night, stay up 2-3 days. If you're flowing, do not take your little melatonin that you guys take to go to bed. No successful person actually does the sleep schedule stuff when they find their genius flow states, bro. Nobody does that. It's stupid. I don't care if it damages business the next day, because those ideas are going to add on to the business $10 million extra dollars. Ideas, remember, your ideas are not yours. You have a stream of images that pours into you when you wake up, and you either left swipe or right swipe. Should I watch porn? Should I smoke weed? Right? So that stream of images, first of all, don't ask where it's coming from, but I think half of it is devilish, and the other half is devilish if you're atheist. So both sides will be devilish if you're atheist, and if you have faith, then it's half-half. And when you go viral or money, whatever it is you're trying to do, when that stuff happens, it cannot feel foreign. If it feels foreign, you can't replicate it. You're done. That's why when I was going viral, I was like, yeah, I expect this. I'm the king. I know this shit. Right? We're going to end the worst negative thought loop, guys, is being surprised of your wins. Whoa, dude, I got 5,000 views. You're never going to be surprised. Whoa, I knocked him out. You're never going to be surprised with your wins in life, whether sport, financial, whatever. They will not be celebrated. That's how much you're going to be working. And it's going to feel normal to you. It's going to turn like a wheel. The second you don't believe in your win, like, oh, it's a fluke, my course will never help you again. That's why you have like a win and a month of losses, or a win and a month of neutral. I don't believe in none of that. None of that. That shit's garbage. You can win every day. There's plenty of people who do it. There's Putins and Trumps. Been winning for like 40 years straight. And what's worth it for me is dream analysis, active imagination, and even if it takes a week for me to understand a dream, I've never fully grasped it. You're never going to fully grasp it, but the elements of the dream that you need will change your life. You will not experience resistance. You'll do your work faster once you understand what's bleeding through you. I actually cue card the topics I'm obsessed with when I research. And after I'm done cue carding and studying, I'll go on a 4 to 6 hour fatiguing hike, playing it over in my head a million times. And then when I'm exhausted, I'll crack a Red Bull, crack an Adderall, and sit on Myron or your chair and start entering flow state. And they're trying to say I'm channeling demons doing this. I'm not. All I'm saying is learn how to learn. That's what I'm saying. If you read a book, you're not going to do it. You literally need to
fatigue yourself.
And here's what I do. This is a cheating method. I'll play some, like these white people movies, like Christopher Nolan movies. They'll play piano and those kind of things for the fight scenes and stuff.
play classical piano when the thought loops you're going to talk about on Fresh and Fit are classical. Let's say they have that topic. You put yourself in the zone, and like if you really want to be making fun of rappers, listen to rap music all day, and as you make fun of them walking. But a lot of people don't know how to cycle from lunar to solar, right? And it's kind of like in my E-series too, but I don't want to teach people like the Rosicrucian reflection or backwards review. Why? That I learned. When I was a Rosicrucian, I learned the backwards review. Do you know what it is?
No.
It's really fucking hard. What did you do in the morning? Rewind it until here, this moment. So, okay, I got up, brushed my teeth, ate breakfast, went to church, then I went here, then I went there. And when you keep stretching this muscle in your brain up until bed, backwards review, you're thinking backwards in time like God. So it's actually a practice of finding out when you're the luckiest. And you go, I ate a steak, I stayed with a loved one, I was with my girlfriend, I got a phone call at exactly 6 p.m. from Myron to be on Fresh and Fit, and you copy paste your week is very fucking hard to do. And you can see exactly when you're getting gifted opportunities in the world. This, Jewish rabbis know this, literally you can pinpoint good luck and know exactly where to be. And it won't be a phone call all the time. It'll be something else, right? It'll be someone you meet at the supermarket. And when I meet them, I go like this, yeah, I think we've met before. And they go, no, we haven't. And I used to be like this. Oh, he's going to put me on the Raj Patel show. I'm going viral. And I used to predict I'm going viral. And then I realized these practices are like kind of fucking satanic. And I just want to be with Christ. So, but yeah, if you can predict when you're being lucky, you can repeat it 1,000,000 times over. And it's fucking terrifying when you do it. Well, I used to do it in a fasted state when I'm dying with lowering my aura away from God with drugs and shit. It's fucking horrible. But I'm very straight. I've never done any homosexual stuff, sodomy or anything like that. Nothing. The straightest guy. So I was never like fucking black magician and shit like that. But for example, if Sneeko wrote down every day what he eats, how much water he drinks, after 2 weeks, he would actually know when he's the most intelligent, most wakeful solar state, most passive state, what time, and he can pinpoint the recipe to be as funny as Zherka for Fresh and Fit. Like people think I sat down on Fresh and Fit and did, just became funny. But if you look at my old clips, yeah, Zherka's always funny, but he didn't ever do a 99% perfect run on Fresh and Fit, or I don't think it was 99% on Adams. But when you see what I did on Fresh and Fit, every day I was doing a 4-hour hike, entering my most passive state, sleepy state, so I can be in flow state and just go on instinct, right? Just through soul. I have a formula I do. Let's say you get me on that show, The Grilling, and I want to do better than Andrew Tate. It's not a ritual. I just know exactly when I perform the best, and it's under pressure in a fatigue state, even in a street fight. For example, why I didn't tweet, I didn't sleep for 3 days when I fought those guys, and I dusted the first one. I cracked the second one hard, right? And I really cracked that motherfucker hard. I don't think he even wanted it. Why? What would happen if I was fresh and awake? I think they would have fucking killed me. Because I'm Zherka. I only perform when I'm obliterated. I'm very nervous to get on a show, and then I perform. If I'm very confident, I cannot be funny, I cannot be smart, I cannot do any of this, and my team knows, Zherka's smart, let's go, roll. Because as soon as I lose it, oh fuck, we can't film with Zherka for 2 days. That's why I can't be late for stuff like that. Like, I time it, and I knew this guy's like, you gotta give Sneeko a hell of a show because it's your first day back. I was like, I'll knock it out the park. We're going to be a little late. I went for a hike, got fatigued, in a fasted state, no sugars, right? Nothing to like brain fog me. And Zherka's not a fad. Don't say that in chat. But mastering yourself there's nothing satanic about mastering yourself. And at the end of the day, I'm supercharged by Christ. That's it. And I swear on everything, I'm actually a Christian.
You know how powerful words are it's like spellcasting. If you can't define depression, it hurts you more. But if you define depression with different spellcasting, depression is self-aggression. Now you know the root of your issue. But I'm telling you, a thesaurus can help you with so many of your problems. If you write down the mainstream narrative is you're depressed. But if the mainstream narrative got tweaked and said you're self-aggressing, then you'd ask yourself, why do I hate myself? And that why is going to make you, cry and break down. But dude, these words, you can cut down to the root of the issue. It doesn't have to be, depression doesn't have to be this vague thing. You can define it, see it, and when you see it, it's in your sights. You can scope it down and snipe it down. And then it's like a zombie. It always grows. Like it wakes up the next day, but it's like a lot slower this time. So you go, BAM! And every day you got to take it down, right? What is the point of the human imagination? Why did God put it here? Like, for example, imagination is so powerful that if she changes her state, she'll find an image that will invoke a feeling. And if she lingers in the feeling, she can have whatever she wants. So a lot of, let's say she wants Zherka as a boyfriend, then every day she has to literally say, he is my boyfriend. She can't do it in past or present, future or past. If every day she woke up and had a mini conversation as she's showering with Zherka, and she just plays in her imagination, Zherka is my boyfriend, she'll actually inspire change in my heart, get closer to me, and that's how people get what they want. This is called magneticism. Egyptians would call it magic. But yeah, what you're watering, you're getting. If you're depressed, anxious, you are literally getting an anxious world. It's what you're watering, right? That's why I always talk about how, I'm very highly paid. I don't lie about that. But I always make it even more in my head, and I walk around like a billionaire because I know I'm going to attract a lot more that way. God made our imagination so we can water these seeds. And these seeds get watered in, it's called the mystery of Golgotha. But what happened in Golgotha, Golgotha means skull. The mystery of Golgotha is what you take into your mother's chamber in the Song of Solomon. Your mother's chamber is when you're going to bed. The last thought that's emotionally charged in his mind that he goes to bed with literally comes true. Because in the world of creations, you cannot create anything. Everything's already created. You can tune into the frequency. The ritual of going to bed has to be more important than anything you do. Nobody understands. Everything that you did today that you're conscious of, you water in your sleep, and you teleport into that world. And you know those narcissists who go, I'm the shit? Yeah, they get higher level promotions. They get more followers. They get like speed. Everyone on earth will give Speed what he wants because he goes to bed with the highest level of, I deserve it. I'm the only content. He actually believes he's the only content. Okay, if you want to remember your dreams, always amplify them. So as soon as you write in your journal,
write it down.
Say, is there a canvas? The wall is white, there's a canvas. As soon as you get all the pieces around the dream, you'll start to remember it. But if you don't amplify it, you'll never remember it. So let's say you have a dream in this room. Immediately ask yourself, what color is the wall? I have a very methodical system of prayer for myself, but I mostly pray for family and friends. But I have a methodical system for using the imagination because there's a vision you'll have that's a shadow in the world of forms. And the vision is you stepping out of your nice car filled with energy. And everyone focuses on the nice car and the smile you have. But that's not the law of attraction. The law of attraction is how much energy do you have in that vision? Look at his energy. He's full of energy. The higher you is full of energy. And then ask yourself, how are you going to get that nice car and successful life? It's telling you, the vision's telling you, look at, in the vision where you're very successful stepping out of the nice car, look into your eyes, focus, not hard, just play with it, and see the imagination. That you is filled with energy, meaning he's working. He's working and you're not working. That's the difference from you and successful you. So everyone focuses on the Ferrari, just come to me. But no, look at who's in the Ferrari, which is your higher self filled with energy, positivity, and winning vibration, winning frequency, which is when the vibration is full, when it's like a shield, right? And that's the quantum field. Like Egyptians knew this, everyone knew. Close your eyes and imagine your wins. You're not negative when you're winning. Trust me on that, right? You've never won being negative. And if you have, you kind of get embarrassed because you compare it to when you're being positive, and it's very different, right? It's peace of mind, money, all that. Does that make sense, what I said? Yeah, because that vision's everything. The science to getting fucking rich is journaling, man. You have to start journaling the new year. And you don't have to remember to write in your little faggot journal every day. Write down a 30-day game plan of shit you have to get done. And you can even make it fun. Like, oh, it's a 7-day, that thinking day, more studying that day. You could do it like fucking numerology, whatever the fuck you want. But the point is, if you write 30 mini goals you're going to hit in 1 month, and that thing is sitting on your desk, if you write a couple mini goals, they never get done. But if you have 30 of those motherfuckers and half the month goes by, you know how fucking guilty you're going to feel. Each of those goals has to link to the real goal, right? So we're doing cookie crumbs to the cookie. Dude, the world gets silent when you stop watching content. Like, it's hard. The world gets, you have to find images in books. You don't have Kai and Aiden distracting you. You have to literally read for entertainment and gnosis.
O2 donated $10. Hey John, can you please tell me how I can max my productivity 100%? I need help with staying up for 24 plus hours.
I used 4 Red Bulls today, which is kind of bad, caffeine. But the truth is, I'm about to tell you, you don't want mastery of the subject. That's why you keep falling asleep, okay? If you worked effective for 1 hour a day, you'd get it done. But you don't even do 1 hour. You have hollow thoughts.
What you imagine in the moment is being generated, or it's already generated. It's the world of creation. You're just tuning into that life. And it's the first time you'll know a sense of self where you go, you know, I don't even know why I was so angry at that person. How many times have you seen your parents argue and you didn't go to bed thinking, oh, I'm just going to pray for my parents? Why don't you go to bed imagining your parents getting along? In literally 2 days, you're going to see your parents getting along. You can literally invisibly affect their hearts only off the care principle. It doesn't work on anything else. It doesn't work on selfish shit. You can do selfish shit, but it's for you. It's not for other people. If you want to do for other people, it's off the care principle. And so what? I'm supposed to go to bed thinking everyone's just having a great old time? And yeah, you are. Yeah. You're supposed to literally imagine your friends sober, what they look like sober and happy, and live in that moment with them in the imagination. That's literally scripturally accurate. That's how you're supposed to use your mind. That's why prayer only works on faith. But you don't have faith if you didn't see the image. If you don't have an image, you don't have faith at all. Zero. Does that make sense what I'm saying? The feeling is faith. It's not you saying you have faith, right? I know this is a scary thought because the first thing you're going to think of is, so 90% of people saying they have faith in Jesus are lying? Yeah, they are. Yeah, you can see when they're being faithful to it. There's a glow, but most of the time they're just doing some political shit. I'm telling you, bro. Bro, you're praying without the frequency of faith. So what are you doing? You're just wasting your time. You know what I mean? You're wasting your life. You don't even know how to pray. And I would never go live and teach people how to pray because that's your business. You have to figure that out, right? Because before you pray, you're going to start going, wow, I'm really selfish. Yeah, you are. You are. You're going to have trouble forgiving your enemies. It's going to take you weeks. And when you do forgive them, you're going to snap back to your old thinking. And you're, I don't want to listen to that. And you're going to notice your heart changes over time with this stuff. Right? Your priorities might shift. But definitely, if you don't believe me, you should ask yourself, why did God give you an imagination? What is it used for? What does taste mean? Lingering in the feeling. What anchors you into that feeling? The state of now, the I am. So don't think of you being fit in the future. Think of it right now so that arousal sparks and you go, oh, this is the feeling. That's the feeling you're chasing. That feeling for 1 minute can generate 1,000 seeds according to the Bible. You can get on to the next part of your life in 1 minute of that feeling. And that feeling, you're going to feel like you don't deserve it. So you're going to run from it. You're going to run this way, that way, but you can't run. And some of you are going to wait till everything I said I would do. And some of you are going to, okay, Zherka has a yacht. Maybe now I'll listen to him.
By then it's too late, bro. Listen to me now. Years of my research has led me to one conclusion, that all of our troubles is from thinking of the past or the future. That means you're not being. And if you're not being, you're going to be very... You could have it all and still not feel it, you know? And I'm telling you guys, chat, there's no trolling right now. I'm just a funny guy, but there's no trolling here. You don't have to be anywhere. You don't need anything. You don't even have to do anything. There's all that I need. I should do that. You don't gotta go nowhere. You don't have to be anywhere. You are here and you have everything. And as soon as you have everything, oh, he has everything. I gotta DM him. That job you want, we gotta get that guy. As soon as the universe senses, this guy don't need us, we want him. And I'm telling you right now, it's been all of 2024 thinking like this. And this is the first time in my life I work 2 hours a month and make more than the previous Zherkas. 2 hours a month I'm working, bro. Sneeko here, 8 hours a day trying to entertain you guys. That framing of you have to be doing something is gonna harm you, bro. I don't have to do anything. I don't have to be anywhere. Do you get what I'm saying? It's not promoting laziness because I still do things, but I'm not shackled to I need. I do it because I enjoy it. And which I don't want to say like I didn't hustle and like grind. Yeah, grinding is great if you're in the moment, but if you're grinding with the past clouding you or the future, you know, it's not really grinding. It's kind of like spinning your tires. It's kind of like, do you want to go 100 years of your life, chat? Do you want to go 100 years of your life needing to do things? Why do you need to do things, man? I still do what you do. I just don't need to do it. You need to do it. Steve.
I don't need to do it.
You gotta get out of this need, bro. There's always something. Steve gotta be doing something. It's like a chatter mind. I just read books, and that was a need in itself. So I stopped that, right?
So you stop reading.
Now I just read. I don't need to read, you know, like I'm not Alex Jones, like information overload obsession. But like when I think of everything I ever gained, it was in kind of a flow state. It wasn't from I need. You got to live in your desire, and you got to feel that you already have what you want, and then you pretty much don't have a need for it because that need is building psychic blockage. And I like to relate it to like those guys who can't get over some chick or whatever, right? But when they do get over her, she comes back and everyone follows him. And yeah, I've just been, I spent years telling my chat, hustle, do this, do that, do that. But yeah, you're going to do that without needing to do it. Not you need, all my language sounds like Sneeko's where it's like, you got to get off your ass. You got to do this. You got to do that. And it's like, you can be all that productive without needing to be. The need is what makes you weak. Like Sneeko, look at you right now. You don't need high viewer count. You've done it many times before. So you're in a state where you're just streaming in flow state.
We're at 10K right now.
That's the best version of you.
I think visualization is the most important practice you should do every day, every morning. Before you check your phone, before you get external triggers from your apps that put you into an autonomous state. Like, have you ever noticed humans are in trance states? They're in a trance watching a movie. They're in a trance talking to their friends. You're very rarely aware. I think the most important thing you should remember is after you wake up from, in the morning, you go back into waking sleep of just going through your routines. And the more aware you are in life, the more you'll be aware of opportunities. And then you'll see blessings and get closer to God because you go, whoa, they're everywhere, right? It's like, how many red cars did you see this week? You can't think of them. But if I told you to look for the red cars, you would find a lot. And you'd say, Zherka, I was in Victoria and I saw 10 red cars. That's how opportunity works, that you have to be looking for it. You have to be aware. And it's always back to identity. You're I am. This is why in the Old Testament, God's name is I am. He wants you
to do it with him dwelling inside of you, right?
I never realized how much better my life was when I cut out the music. You know, I'll drive to music, but it won't be in my house. I'm ISIS, motherfucker, no music. So I think that's like, you know, as funny, you know, I sound funny when I talk, right? But I mean it. No music in my house. And yeah, because music sends you into memory loops. And that's some gay, only women are stuck in, oh, I miss my ex-boyfriend. Those memory loops are gay as fuck. Memory loops is the reason why people stay on TikTok for 4 hours. Dude, you could have made $40 million. You're on TikTok for 4 hours watching little kids like a pedophile. The fuck is the matter with you? These thought loops all come from the mental plane. The mental plane is not yours. You share it with her, him, everyone. You share it with me. That's why everything I'm saying, you're thinking about, because I'm affecting you. Radio, movies, all that is in your psyche. Psyche is mind and soul. It's affecting your soul. Now, ask yourself, if your mind's getting raped all day by radio, TV, and all sorts of media, when do you actually have authentic thoughts? When do you have millionaire ideas? You don't have time for them because your mind's always being raped. So why the fuck would I have music in my house? I'd rather listen to my own thoughts that give me these great ideas.
Zherka donated $5. I mean, yes, I have been praying more recently, but I still make bad decisions. I've been drinking and doing coke some weekends, but mostly drinking. But every time after drinking, I just start thinking about bad shit I have done.
It's simple. Don't wait to be ready to quit. Don't do anything to help you quit. Just quit. It's over. You'll never worry again. It's so worth it. It's over. All the noise is gone. The extra noise. It's all about being. When your being is, I don't do that shit anymore. It's over. It's over. Now you gotta just go up the ladder and be successful. And like, check this out. The truth is you are gonna quit those things. You just don't know when, which means never. Once you do realize when, which is now, there's no other point in time you have. And now just left. You need to do it now. If you fuck up and go back to drinking, amnesia pill, pretend that never happened. Same with dieting. Oh, I ate a pizza. My clients used to say, I ate a pizza. I'd be like, that never happened. Back on your diet tomorrow. That never happened. Back. And eventually, these motherfuckers will be ripped. Because it's about being. It's about the molecular change of now. That's alchemy right there. And here's what's crazy is you don't think of your ideal self. Your ideal self is angelic, good looking, gets women, money, fucking handsome. Your ideal self, you're connected to this, bro. This is you. Like, your ideal self is right in the moment. It's not in the past or the future. Because a lot of people say, in the future, I'm going to be this. That future never comes, so you manifested the wrong thing. It's now. I am this. That's why when God said, I am the I am, what do you think he's telling you? It's like, be it. Your I am, no one can use the fucking spell casting of I, just you. No one can say I for chat. You're the only one who can say I quit. It's over. If you want to quit something, just do it. Don't do it. Because that's restrictive energy, that's resistance, and you'll snap back to it. You want to diet? Just do it. That's it. You think someone else can hold your I energy? You know what the fucking Illuminati, the fucking Eye of Providence is on your dollar bill? You know what the secret is? The EYE. Ask Steiner, ask anyone this, any esoteric fucking mainstream genius. The EYE on your dollar bill is the letter I. You fucking moron. Because they know you can change reality with I. I quit. I'm a millionaire. You know how many times I write in that fucking shit, I'm a millionaire, money comes to me easy, I don't have to try? Fucking thousands, bro. If you have to do something dragging your feet, you're going to go back to whatever you're trying to quit. Oh, I'm quitting drinking. No, it's I quit. That was easy. I have peace of mind. That's the treat of life, is when you do something and there's no elastic band. I'm quitting alcohol and now I'm drinking so much. I'm quitting blow. Now I'm snorting everything. But that's not how it works, bro. That's why when you fucking diet, I hate my diet. Yeah, then you're going back to being a fat ass, bitch. You fucking retard. That's why I used to make dieting very fun for my clients. Make it as fun as possible, right? I'm not gonna lie, bro. Sneako's a great streamer. Cheezer and Convy and all these guys on Kick and Rumble and stuff. But they're not even 1% of my intellect. I swear to God they don't read books, but I swear to God they feel like my sons. I swear they can't give a sermon. I swear they change lives, but they don't morph people into winning forces of nature like my Discord. You know why? Because they have no karma they're trying to fix. They think they're going to heaven. I don't think that. I have to fix this shit. I'm fucking save you guys. Because I've been saved. The Holy Spirit goes through me and grabs you, pulls you out. And now you're kind of going to start understanding why so many Christians don't get their prayers answered. Is their prayers are external, even though the Bible says you have to literally believe you've already received it for it to come to you. Feeling is the secret. Now, this is what a lot of ceremonial magic becomes. Hey, if you want to be king on earth, you dress like a king, you hold a scepter, you stay in the state of a king long enough till the whole town square likes your revolutionary ideas and you overthrow another king. This is why the greatest people on earth, they didn't study this stuff. They either intuitively knew it from past life memories, or they did study it. I think building confidence from within is probably the greatest thing that I can give to the world, because those are the best pictures I had on earth. The pictures when I did have that confidence and the pictures when I don't, and I compare the difference and I go, there's a lot of wasted years in my life, even though I already knew this stuff. But I kept only doing it when I felt like I deserved it, which is a big no-no. You know, I think the discipline here is that you do it no matter what. That you're in the state of a winner no matter what. Let's start with health. Did you know most people who are unhealthy have actually had millions and millions of dream states of themselves feeling bad? Like if you ever get the sniffles and stuff, you should say, I am healthy. Walk around as if you are healthy and get everything you need to get done, and you're going to see how fast the sniffles go away. Same thing with inspiring change in someone's heart. If your mom gets sick and catches a cold, you can imagine, just like the Bible teaches, you can imagine your mom healthy and it inspires a change in her. It might take you a few days, it might take you whatever, but you owe your family members that 10 minutes. And no, I don't think you should imagine healing her. You should imagine her being healed and laughing with you. One of the trickier things is you're going to notice, I don't know what to pray for. You're going to think you want something, but the feeling won't be there. And you really have to wait for arousal, right? That's when it gets going in your mind. But you're going to notice that, oh man, Zherka, I don't know what I want. And I'm telling you, that's why you should be focusing on the state you want to live in over the lifestyle you want to live. The lifestyle will come after you feel the state every single time. This is why I like confidence maxing, right? The state of confidence maxing so that you get the right ideas. And it's got to be done in the world. It can't just be done in your room, although it starts off in that closet, right? Scripture does say the word closet. Yeah, I don't think you should ever do a prayer in your life where you don't imagine your family and friends healthy, wealthy, and living their best life. And every idea should become an ideal. Everything should be the world of, think of Plato, right? Everything should be transformed by the alchemist, everything you see. And you're going to get tested because things are going to piss you off. And again, if you feel like it's suppressing energy, then it won't work. It's got to feel natural, and it will feel natural once you adopt the state you're in. I don't care if you're showering, tying your shoe, you must repeat to yourself, I give up my suffering. Meaning, I don't care what happens today. I will not be frustrated for no reason, which is how you guys have spent 25 years on Earth, probably. You shouldn't be angry at that for even a minute. You should never dwell on the past because that blocks everything. Because, check this out, there's 8 billion people on Earth who are living wrong. So, Yeah, it'll feel like an everlasting spring of energy once you're doing this stuff, right? And you're gonna be kind of shocked that you're gonna want new clothes. Some people even get into suits and ties. They're just ritualistically successful, and then everything starts working out a lot better for them. And you're gonna see how people want to shake your hand when the state changes. And the state changes every hour into very weird places. Like, you gotta remember, your name is Legion. It's actually demonic, dude. You are 1,000 different yous who are battling for 1,000 different desires. And you're going to see that it's not your mind is the only thing living and everyone's a zombie. I don't teach that at all. It's that you interact with the world and the world gets out of your way when you're acting right. The more you do receptive meditation, 20 minutes a day, without the timer, eventually you have to do it without a timer so you don't think of the timer as you're being receptive. That could really corrupt it. Although the first month I recommend a timer just so you get the discipline down. The more you do receptive meditation, the more you're going to dream, and the more the dreams are going to make sense to you. And if you're really into that stuff, you could always get a Jungian analyst to talk to about that stuff. But I really, really want you guys to focus on pretty much dreaming, being awake, so that you have more control of your dreams. And you shouldn't look too far into some dreams. Like, for example, you could, Steiner talks about, you could be being affected by a meal you're digesting, the lower part of your will function, or your 3-part soul. It could be your stomach soul, right? So yeah. And again, all meditation has to be done on an empty stomach. In a fasted state, it's going to be a lot better for you. And you're going to see a lot of you guys are going to be shocked at how therapeutic it is. Like, you guys are going to be like, Zherka, I didn't get the stuff that you talk about, but I'm living my best life because I kind of have control over my anxiety now completely throughout my day. And I'm like, really? So at the bare minimum, meditation gets you there. Why are you not adding prayer to this? And they're like, okay, I get it. I'm like, yes, there's an active component now. If you ever want to see these angelic type, or gods, as they say, or an angel, you'll see something beautiful, like maybe a Greek statue. And then when you feel the sense of beauty, you're feeling the spirit.
And what all these like books I've read talk about is that like invisible forces are affecting you, and the more you sin, the more that demon that's on you kind of grows with you for years and years. And you can see it spiral, like think of an addict and shit.
You are a fish in the ocean of spirit, and there's beings that float through you, like a dog. A dog doesn't really get what the I'm saying, really, but like, I can nudge it to do certain things. That's what nudges us. We're like dogs to these spirits, and these spirits, they come in and out of each other. So there's like 1, 2, 3 that turn into one, and a lot of angels are just like a collective of people, unless they're like divine from God. But if it's a human angel, right? Because you can, rise the ranks. That's what the stars are. The collective becoming one. So when you look at a star angel system, it's like a bunch of good entities in one. Now you have the same thing for demonic world, and that spirit world, this in between, is pulling at you. Sloth, pride, envy. These are entities, bro. Okay? These are entities. Greed is an entity, right? And it's like, think of greed as a solar disk, like a sunlight, and the light rays are everything bad that comes from greed burning us. But it all adheres to this archetype of greed. That's why the Bible is so useful. It's like, there is no psychology without the Bible, right? It needs the Bible. In yogi practices, the throat chakra, you're not supposed to actually speak a lot, so your words have more power. By the way, English language is the simplified version, mastery of spellcasting, but the original languages actually had the vibrations bent reality when they would say El, like Elohim or Mikael or Raphael or whatever. When humans used to speak, it used to sonically change reality. And now the coded language, A is 1, B is 2, it's gotten weakened, right? And they did that on purpose, right? Like, they do certain things to keep us always in a weakened state. Like, I don't ever say good morning because I'm not mourning anyone's death. That's a spellcasting. That's in how you say That's like the image of what you're saying, you're not noticing is in your subconscious and it pings. Bing bong bing. And the subconscious isn't just when you're sleeping, guys. It's like the elephant that you appease with a peanut throughout the day. It's got a mind of its own. If you wore a mustache man's symbol, from 1939 and walked into a synagogue, you start a riot. One symbol can literally start a riot, meaning spell casting is real. You can draw a spell and start a riot.
I see what you're saying.
Right. But it goes deeper than that, because these books say you can shoot a mental ray when you're good enough to kill someone from across the world. And he said it's not a joke. These are occult sciences. What was before chemistry? Alchemistry. They learned about Brad, when he's depressed, his bioelectric diurnal and nocturnal pulse. Boop, 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 boop. His heart, it's making an electric field around him. When you're depressed, the aura goes down, like in Halo, right? Lunar works for maintenance of body, right? Just like your girlfriend, she maintains you, you feel loved, blah, blah, blah. So that's what the moon is, and the piece of the flesh, okay? And remember, the sun, right? Every human is like a solar capsule, right, of sunlight that you hold even when you're sleeping. That's that masculine and active force, and the moon is passive. Just like here's how I know I'm going genius mode, right? So as I'm finishing this book, it hits me. I'm like, wait a minute. If the opposite of spirit is matter, and this is not the genius part, this is like Plato. I'm just stealing right now. If the opposite of spirit is matter, and spirit is just inverted matter, right? I was thinking to myself, that makes a lot of sense of why the moon is feminine, because the moon is matter and passive. You can see the moon, you can see the designs on the moon, everything, but you can't see the sun. You look at it and you're like, I can't see it. It's exactly spirit. You can't see spirit, invisible world, right? To me, I was like reading the book and I'm like, holy shit, that makes a lot of sense. That's exactly what Carl Jung said, that human ideas, we don't create them, we just, surf on them, that we draw from infinite pool and oceans of subconscious, and we pick these ideas. And the idea can consume you. Like if you go manga, you could be doxxed, destroyed, and imprisoned off one idea, one spell. What Kundalini Yoga is messing with your chakras, and people don't believe in this, but it is true that you have wheels. You have a sensation on your throat you feel when you speak. You have a sensation between your eyes, your third eye chakra, which can actually be abused to enter genius levels of gnosis through the third eye of masonry, which is generative principle. That's why they wear an apron around their penis, to generate life. You can put your dick in a man's ass through a sodomy ritual to gain a psychic higher level of intellect throughout time, through biting the apple of knowledge. This is what a lot of homosexuals do to make billionaire corporations, change their flags to rainbows. It's not for profit, right? They can print as much money as they want. You have a crown chakra, you feel a sensation over your head. You have one here, even sacral. These chakras actually are unleashed when you do enough yoga, like spinal yoga, and you feel the highest level of euphoria and depression at the same time. You start crying, and then you're freed. And really, it's like, it's very satanic, in my opinion, right? Every single time the Bible is talking about a good harvest on the 12 tribes of Judah, it's talking about bringing new seeds, new ideas that grow and make your life better. That's what it's talking about. And no one understands that the 12 tribes is talking about it's not just the literal 12 tribes, it aligns with the 12 parts of your brain, right? That is somehow linked to this zodiac, this timeline. Most of the Old Testament that's talking about a good harvest and planting good seeds and how to do it, and it's actually an alchemical formula of how to bring these new ideas from the world of forms into your blueprint through. It's an astral thing, right? Because it happens after you nap, you sleep, you just wake up in a better world. A lot of people don't actually know how the Bible, especially with the Old Testament, is a mastery of how to think. The meditative state, imaginative state, it explains it all in coded language. The Bible makes so much sense to you
when you start to decode for the mystical aspects too, right? The stuff that's literally going to make your life better, dude. I don't know why people think the Bible is like this book you cry on. It's literally an alchemical formula to change the way you think and the things you meditate on, the things you imagine and dream. Yes, you're watering those seeds, they're coming true.
And apparently a human is a germ flying through billions of invisible impulses that crisscross him. So if you have one drink of alcohol, that'll lead to coke, whores, it'll get worse because you open that portal. If you're depressed, your diurnal bioelectromagnetic pump, your heart, it weakens, so you get sick faster. When I found out all this stuff, I was like, did you know that you're actually supposed to have rituals every day of how to guard your mental? You're not, if your mom calls you negative shit or your girlfriend and you have a podcast day, never pick up that call.
Yeah.
Ever tell them you're busy, because they actually affect 20% of your income.
We're created as perfect beings, but while we're on earth, we're in a fallen state, meaning you are controlling your evolution. Yeah. If you're short, you did that to yourself. If you're tall, you did that to yourself. If you're symmetrical, you did that to yourself. This is not your final form. Your heavenly form looks very different. It's actually a rainbow body. It's made of light. And it's the most beautiful thing you could ever see. The most beautiful thing you could ever share, because you have to share it. But on this earth, your face, the way it's structured, is because of the things you think about, the lies you tell yourself. This is why ugly people are in prison, right? You can see ugly has a feature. There's a lot of stupid people on social media who go, I saw an attractive guy in a prison photo who popped off. That's one out of a billion. There's a billion ugly people locked in a fucking cell. You understand? A lot of these Christians and everyone's convinced God created you the way you are. Are you fucking retarded? Some of you guys don't even have legs. You think that's really your final form? Some of you guys can't hear. Some of you guys can't see. You're colorblind. Do you really think God made you like that, you dumb motherfucker? You're doing it to yourself. You fucked up your own evolution.
When you lower your spirit, when you lower your umbilical cord connected to God through drinking and blah, 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 or dancing, chanting, whatever, it attracts these little demons that maybe someone else made. Sometimes you can even use a demon. You can conjure one up, or you can use one to get you to increase your range of thought, enter a trance-like Christ consciousness state, Brahmic splendor. You can use one for the seat of the soul, the pineal gland. You can spark your fucking third eye and paint a Mona Lisa when never being instructed in art. Not even one lesson your whole life. How? How are they going into these psychic revelation states? It's always this contract with demons that they think the demon will help them. The demon eventually takes over, ruins their life. We see it with rappers. There's the CIA operative that was talking about psychological operations done on the mind, and when the mind is at the lowest point. And apparently when the mind is at the lowest point, that's when the artists trap the mind. So when you're at your most depressed state, that's when you play your music. And that's when you get fucking those thought loops that destroy your life. For example, I used to just have a couple beers, and then there was this song that went like, Molly, Percocet, just repetition.
A Mask Off by Future?
Yeah, and Hitler once said, if you want people to believe something, you just repeat it a bunch of times, and you keep repeating it, and they just believe it. So I'm at the bar with buddies, and then that was the first time in my life, I think 2017 or 18, I said, yo, I don't want no beers. I want to try this Percocet. I want to try this Molly. This is the first time in my life I'm switching from alcohol to some life destroyer shit. You're telling me that song is not a commercial for those drugs? This is clear psychological warfare, and it's obvious as day. And I'm not saying that's how I got hooked on perks, but that's my first perk. My first perk is because I got infiltrated psychically by music. The most depressed moment of my life. I accepted Christ. Worst month of my life. Close Closest person in my life, my only friend was like this girl that I was dating. Knife on FaceTime, her throat, and cuts her leg. It's the worst break I've ever seen. And I'm like, whoa, dude. All the red pill guys messaged me. Drop her ass, bro. Drop her ass. And I was like, I hate red pill. They literally not with God. All the blue pill liberals said, drop her. She's crazy. I was like, they're the exact same. They don't believe in God. Red pill, blue pill. And I tried the Christ thing and I hated Jesus. Like I was punching walls in Texas all alone saying, I hate Jesus. This is the worst month of my life. Lost job. Banned from Twitch, everything, no money, the worst things that happen all alone. And the first time as an adult, I said, you know what? Fuck it. I'm channeling and I'm going into a psychic revelation state at my sleepiest phase because I'm not doing it in a wakeful state like these fucking Satanists. And I said, okay, let's use drugs. Let's drink. Got drunk as fuck. And I went into a meditative state. Didn't work for a couple of days. For some days I didn't sleep. I said, I need to know Christ is real. Let's go see these fucking demons and find out. Then, immediately, when I started hallucinating from no sleep, I said, okay, here it comes. And I started going, oh, there's nothing. The most beautiful daydream I ever had that bled into night. And I started sleeping on my beanbag. I wasn't fucking sitting, I was like laying down. And it was a dream. I knew I was awake, but am I awake? The girlfriend, no blood on her, runs up and hugs me. The fucking green grass outside, and it's like Utah, and there's sunlight, and I'm like, Jew, it's a fucking dream, you didn't cut yourself. Everyone on the internet saying like you're gonna kill yourself dating me like the last one and the last one, all these girls who fell in love with me. This is fucking great. She's like, yeah, it's just a dream. Brother, the best dream I ever had, channeling. And then everyone there taken from me, but they left me. And the feeling was you can't go to them. They don't want you. So I felt very alone. Then it got dark. No God. The highest level of psychosis I've ever felt in my life. And I said, okay, I'm drowning. The first ever time I had what's that thing called? Sleep paralysis?
Yeah.
And I had no idea I was spiritual. I didn't know.
Channeling demons?
No, I was more.
That sounds like you're channeling demons.
Well, it's not like I'm spellcasting or anything. I'm really just self-harming psychically. Not like with a
self-harming psychically sounds like
I hate myself. Yeah, I was going there. Whatever. And it wasn't like verbal. It was like for 2 days straight without a phone in a dark room. And yeah, it was just weird. But anyways, and I've done this before. I used to be an alcoholic, so this is normal to me. But I used to do it subconsciously. This one, I'm going in there and in the deepest part of darkness, right? Where you don't even want to commit suicide because you're like in a dream. You're stuck. My first sleep paralysis, and I'm like, fuck, I know I'm asleep. This is sleep paralysis. Wait, I don't believe in sleep paralysis. This is not just chemicals firing in my head. The love I have for my mom that I'm losing here in this dream, it's not just chemicals in my head. This is spirit. I'm in the spirit world. I swear to God, I'm not lying. At the deepest point, I said, do it. Fuck, let's test it. I'm here. Because I need God, but what the fuck? I don't get God. I don't get these practices, the meditation. Let's test it. Christ is king. Oh, I woke up. And I'm like, holy fuck, it worked. Holy fuck, that spell worked. The one thing that snapped me out of it, what if I didn't say that? And I only went into the dream state, the darkest state of my life, just to do that. And I swear to God, I'm not lying. Then, nothing. No love for Christ. Didn't care for Christ. Didn't come to God. Nothing. Just bursted out as an adult, crying for like 1 hour.
You're doing that Jake Paul ritual that you were criticizing Mike for.
No, his was a breathing ritual. Mine was a self-harm ritual with alcohol where you really get trashed. And
that sounds worse.
Yeah, probably. But the point is, I'm not channeling demons. I just wanted to go deep into that darkness. And nothing happened for the next couple of weeks. And Adam calls me on the show and shit. And then this is fucking recent. The worst month of my life. And I still don't believe in God for some reason, even though it worked.
You don't believe in God?
No, at the time. But I said to myself, wait, dreams are wish fulfillment from Freud? I don't believe in chemicals in my brains causing dreams like Sneeko and Andrew Tate. Wait a minute. That is spirit. So let me understand this. If Christ is king worked, and Carl Jung said if a symbol affects billions of lives, the symbol's real, because it's on all of our mental psyche, right? I said to myself, oh, fuck, I'm a Christian. And then I said, I hate them. Turn the other cheek. They're all, I don't like this. And then I started reading about, bro, I was reading for weeks, and Destiny kept saying, aren't you worried that you're banned on Twitch? You're not doing anything for this ban. I don't give a fuck, bro. I'm with God, right? Let me fucking drown in debt if I have to. Fuck it, I'm with God, right? But I said to Destiny, I don't care. And I was like very nonchalant. And everyone, family, friends, what are you doing? You're not working here. You don't have a girlfriend. You don't have friends. Whatever. I don't care. I'll figure it out. I'm a nomad. Just kick it to LA. Literally found out all depictions of Jesus were masculine, and it's a psyop that he's feminine, and they're all buried throughout history. Found out everyone on earth was a Christian, and that was the default religion before all the new ones. I go so deep into Christianity, and my dream finally makes sense. And I never saw Christ in the dream. I saw more of like really just the word, Christ is King. And then I'm like, right on Twitter, and I started my crusade. Immediately viral, money, $500 consultations right now for 1 hour with me. Literally viral everywhere, friends all around me, heal Mike, love, family are proud of me. And I'm like, what the fuck? And then I said, this has to be the work of demons. Say the did it and see if you get canceled. The fucking didn't get canceled, exploded even more viral. And I'm like, I'm telling the truth, and I'm rich and fucking famous. And that's when you can tell the truth and be rich and famous, you know you're not working with a demon. That's the ultimate test, right? And I'm like, okay, tell it on YouTube, tell it this. And I was always like afraid that Nick Fuentes was a psyop and stuff. I'm like, that's the kid who red pilled me the most. Let's fucking go on his crusade. I know his chat's gonna call me a degenerate. They all, 99% of them love me. Fucking NFT crypto guys throwing money at me left and right. And then, I need to do a psyop and get Myron to call me, and I did some stuff, and Myron calls me, Myron, what the fuck, you fucking pussy? We start arguing on the phone, then we're cool on the phone, let's get on the show. Immediately I said, I'm walking with God, I can't stop smiling. I bet this smile is going to translate into high-level comedy. Maybe I can do 80% comedy on the show. Literally sat down and looked at Myron fresh, and I said, nah, I'm 29, I'm late, let's change my life. 28 million hits on TikTok from 800, the most. Andrew Tate was there a year and nobody knew who he was. 72,000 new followers gained in one appearance. The most viral fucking appearance ever. It's not like fucking the Nelk Boys could sit down and fucking pop off there just from talking. And then I realized, holy fuck, my whole life, all my friends and family told me the stuff I study, Masonic literature and the Bible and everything like that is useless. It's not making money. It all started, God starts pouring through me, through the Holy Spirit, starts bleeding into my content. Now, you know what, in the number one comment I get with 2,000 upvotes? Dude, he has a master over comedy, conspiracy, romance, dating, he's funny, he's good looking. This is the ultimate creator. This is the greatest influencer. He tells the truth, and he says, it's the fucking literally the number one influencer to actually go through the portal of entertainment with a bunch of money, big deals and contracts, documentaries, and not getting banned. And so literally I'm the first person on the internet to be this blessed.
Hey John, I'm gonna start reading the Bible. I'm just wondering if the Old Testament will lead me away from Christ, as I don't have a lot of knowledge.
It won't lead you away from Christ, but it won't pique your interest like the New Testament. So do the New Testament first. Trust me, all the scholars got it wrong. I mean, it's good, but nothing compares to the game changer, which is the Christ impulse, dude. The whole world got the Christ impulse, and they either rejected it or became the greatest nations ever. And yeah, you start with Christ, man, because, dude, you'll love the Old Testament once you understand why you're even, how your debt is even paid. Because let's be honest, it doesn't make sense someone died for your sins. It doesn't make sense until you finish that Matthew, Mark, Luke, John. When you finish these, when you finish the Gospels, you can never go back to a world where humans just sin without the debt being paid. It doesn't even make sense. I don't even know how humans walk around thinking like, yeah, I believe in sin, but like, I think I'm good. Like, once you're done that, you will never, ever be confused again.
It's a build-up. So, for example, if you lie to your girlfriend, you pay for each lie on earth, even before Judgment Day. Did you know that?
Yeah.
You pay. And so even if you get away with the lie, it actually stains your timeline of feeling guilty. And the guilt will manifest in you're making less money. This is why I push marriage so much. If you're not hiding and being a player with bitches, you can make $100 million with a wife. And not that she's in your life. Like, get in the fucking room, shut the fuck up for 20 hours a day. But the point is, when you're honest, you can honestly fucking kill it, right? And you can make $100 million with peace of mind. You're not like snaking people or rabbi shit. But when you're a player, you're always hiding, and all of that stretches. So you'll have success like an elastic band, and it pings back every single time. There's never been one lie you've told that you didn't pay for already, let alone for Judgment Day. And when you die, God shows you through the endocrine system, the nervous system of your mother, and how she felt when you told her to fuck off. Every fucking memory you go through the lens of the people you hurt. So right now, make right with them. Because I'm telling you, bro, that's worse than hell. When you have to feel what they felt through their nervous system, the bitches art you broke. You're seeing, God says, well, here's Amy, John. She's 5 years old, and that's her father leaving her life forever. But he comes back at 8 and then leaves again. And now it's your turn. The archetype of a male, she meets you, she's in love with you, she cuts her wrists. You left her. You used her, and you fucked another bitch. You see the bitch as a toddler and feel everything she feels, plus her family members and friends. You know what kind of fucking trauma this is? This is not hell, bro. So when you fucking break a bitch's heart, you get to feel all of it. And people think Judgment Day is like something quick. It's not quick at all. You think I'm fucking beating the shit out of people, scamming people, drug dealing? Fuck no. You think when I sell my fucking E-series on women, my team's angry I didn't film for 2 days. I said, if I film right now, I'm not in my wakeful state, I'm going to lie and scam. And they're like, what? I'm like, I'm not selling my fucking community E-series that I'm not proud of. I want to defend it on podcast, and I want to say, on Jesus' name, I'm number one at this dating shit. Not because I have the best riz instinctively. I'll actually teach you how to get to fucking purple belt. You'll never be me, black belt, little fucking faggot. But check this out. Literally live an honest life, bro. Live an honest life, and you can actually get rich. Don't listen to this fucking rabbi shit that you get rich just scamming or some fucking Hustlers University or whatever. Literally, if you sell a project that changes a bunch of people's lives, it's a way faster track to getting rich. You get to enjoy the Ferrari with hair on your head because you didn't lose it from stress and people fucking you over and jumping you and shit. I'm telling you right now, honest money is money. Money is not money. That's stress. That's making you old, ugly, depressed, crackhead. The only way is honesty.
And another thing, to be an atheist, being an atheist is worse than being an animal. Because an animal doesn't know it's retarded. But an atheist is convinced that he knows nothing. And they think this is like a platonic, oh, look, I'm Plato level. I'm just a retard. It's like you look at geometric shapes and you look at a fucking tree and you go, oh, yeah, that's a cosmic accident. Atheism is a phase that, when confronted with the truth, usually puts a barrel to its head. It's very sad. It's a very sad thing to promote it. To promote atheism is to promote Nietzsche's book called The Antichrist.
Because Christianity is not a religion. It's the default position of God. Everyone in their heart knows the highest level of love is sacrifice. If I jump in front of bullets for my son, that's the highest level of love. And that's Christ died and we're washed in the blood of Christ. This is the only story of God that makes sense.
The only way God can be pure is if he creates a world of sin that we chose, we fell into here, Adam and Eve. He made a world of sin, but the sin debt has already been paid by the intermediary, Jesus Christ Almighty. All you have to do is faith, grace, and the works, do good deeds. That's it. And you're saved. Period. End of story. But there's no definitive saved in any other religion. All religions on earth, chat, take steps towards God. But how can you take steps when you're wounded, depressed, and about to yourself. Christianity is not a religion because God comes down Jacob's ladder, comes down the steps and says, your fucking leg is broken. I will save you. And everyone on earth says, no, I can do it myself. I don't need you, God. I'm transgender. I'm this. I hate my parents. All you have to do is grab, nigga. Press the faith button and grab. The devil is the illusion of attractive, right? Like a hooker. Is a hooker attractive? She's certainly pretty to you at the bar. Is she beautiful? No, she's not. It's a false light. That's why Lucifer is called the angel of light. But we know God said, let there be light. It's a false light. That's not your light. It's blinding you. Listen, I don't care if you're Jewish, Buddhist, Muslim. As far as I'm concerned, you're all going to hell. I was obsessed over power, and when I read that the tops of power don't have a problem with any religions, they only have a problem with the cross. They're anti-Christ. They'll promote Islam on the algorithm. They'll promote this, but someone like Nick or anyone with a Catholic message, they'll nuke and destroy. And I kept wondering, I'm like, what is all this attack on the straight white male? Because we all know that motherfucker is the most attractive, but it's not just jealousy. The straight white male attack is an attack on the people who hold the cross closest to their heart. It's the Christians. So I was like, why is there so much attack on Christian nations when they literally brought economic prosperity to everyone? I studied the Trinity, and I realized that our reality is a Trinity. Like, there's heaven where you think you'll go, you, and earth. Trinity is your mother, your father, and when they have sex, that electricity that made you, the Trinity is the family unit. The point is, the Trinity is everywhere, and the biggest attack on YouTube was on the Trinity and how it doesn't make sense. Heavens, individual, earth. Literally everything, liquid, solid, gas, everything you notice on earth is a Trinity. That's the number 3, the Masonic number 3.
The rule of 3.
Another thing is 500 fucking witnesses saw Jesus resurrect, and you guys want to say it's fake news? 500! These guys were getting their heads cut off. They're literally getting their heads cut off. Muslims, Buddhists, everyone else throughout the years would be like pretending, oh, I didn't see shit. These guys were getting their heads cut off saying, yeah, I saw that shit. What kind of humans would cut their fucking heads off? Jesus is king. When you write 2023, what date are you writing? You're writing your little gay fucking dinosaur, Tyrannosaurus Rex date? You're writing Christ. How you're supposed to do scripture, and this is how you do it. You test it by, can you imagine you and your enemy breaking bread? Can you live in that imagination for 5 minutes? If you can go 5 minutes without struggle, then you're in the faith and frequency of forgiving them. You don't have to prove it to God. But a Christian will look you in the eyes and say, I forgave Bob, and in their hearts, they're angry at him. And Jesus points at the heart. Because you got to remember that when you walk with God, the villains don't viciously try and kill you. They first viciously try and win you over. Everyone wants to be in God's favor, especially the guilty. So that's what you got to remember. And it's not like my goal is to convert the evil guys, but when you're unapologetically forward, like everyone picks up the Bible as a shield, and I think that's great, but I really don't think, that's the strategy anymore. I think we grab the cross as a sword, and we've got to start moving forward because we are demoralized and defeated and destroyed at this point. But remember, it only takes one Nick to get a Zherka going, the martyr Zherka. And really, it just takes like one dude to awaken a million. Like, you remember George Floyd awakened millions. That's what the ruling class hates the most, is how quickly it can change, And, revolution starts, I'm not saying I'm a comedian, right? I'm not CIA, but a revolution starts with 3,000 people. That's all you need. And I've got 300,000 and soon 30 million. And remember, the goal is not for me to like make it in their good favor. That's definitely satanic. The goal is that if I get wiped out, canceled, destroyed, killed, imprisoned, that, I go in my grave and there's
10 million new Christians at my funeral, and that's our win, right? If we had 1 million Christians today spawn out of nowhere, we win the game. Even 100,000 strong voice Christians would convert. One little passage in the Bible can change someone's fucking heart and completely turn them into a Zherka type. Imagine a movie, and that's what my content is. It's the movie of Christ, or the Christ inspired, right? My crisis was saved by Christ. My life crisis, I'm inspired, and that's why my shit is so cinematic, and I go extreme. Like, I don't care if I get jumped and they beat the shit out of me. They did much worse to Christ. If I'm covered in blood and shit, I don't give a fuck about that. It just makes me the martyr, and I convert more, way more. So you could do the worst to me, I still win.
I'm not a Christian that like does it for aesthetic. Like, I actually know Christ is real. I've tested it, everything. And so when I meet a Muslim, I just see someone like literally with the Antichrist. Like, it's a useful pawn. Like, hey, fight feminism and then fuck off, right? Jews, Muslims, Buddhists, zero respect for these people. Because everyone knows Christ is king and they still deny it, right? And remember, Christianity is the only religion that doesn't have a color. It's for everyone. It touched the four wings of the earth. Everyone was a Christian at one point. Christianity is not a white thing at all. It's literally everyone had it, and then they suppressed it.
The Trinity is the number of God. Mom, dad, child, boyfriend, girlfriend, sex. Heaven, earth, you. Ice, water, ice, liquid, gas. The Trinity is in every part of your reality, and you don't even notice it. The Father, the will, is masculine. The Holy Spirit would be seen as a recharge, right? Like a battery recharge. For me, it's like a surge. So I have two different ways of how I feel the Holy Spirit. One, it's anytime I'm in a degenerate setting that it limits me. This is how degenerate I am as a bouncer, and then the Holy Spirit brings me down to here where like, maybe I'm just like getting a number, it's not that bad. But I used to be very fucking crazy. Another thing, it's this reading. When you're reading, I just feel the Holy Spirit sometimes help me read. Like, I'm not a good reader, and then I just feel the calmness of, hey, it's been weeks of euphoria and it's not going away. How did you do the prayer? Well, it's every morning after you shower in your cleanest form, where you look good, fix your hair, make sure you look perfect for God. And then when you're showering before bed, which if you don't shower and you're not clean, still pray. And the prayer has to be away from electronics. Nothing can buzz. If there's a vibration of your phone 4 rooms down and you hear it, prayer is null and void. Didn't work. 0. I literally go on hours of a walk in a quiet park in the middle of the night, because mine are like 3 a.m., bro, just to calm my mind enough, like a dog. As soon as I'm fading into this kind of like the opposite of wakeful, sleepy kind of state, I go, calm mind, now I can synchronize. Because I'll never do... People pray with the TV on and shit. Dude, if you take more time setting up for a date with a woman than a prayer, and a prayer is like 5 minutes, but it's not that fucking long. The setup takes long. If you dress better for a woman on a date than God, bro, I'm telling you, you're just doing things out of disrespect. It's like, it's not a chore, bro. When you look good in the morning and then you pray, for some reason, you literally go downtown and have a blast, get a coffee, maybe have a cigarette, talk to someone, happy. You even miss like 20 minutes of work, but for some reason, you start work later with a surge of more energy. So you play catch up quicker. I've missed 4 hours of work and I played catch up in 2 hours because now I got the surge. And remember, every morning of your life, you will wake up an atheist. I don't care who you are. It is something you tap into. You can't just say you're a Christian. right? That shit fades. That's why we struggle with faith. Every morning, you wake up as an atheist, so you need to go right into the shower and start getting your mind right. And you know what's beautiful about prayer? You start to find that you can calm your mind in a room filled with people talking again. Okay, I couldn't do this since high school. Where you start to like really get good at like, you'd be in a business meeting and you go, oh, wow, this guy's kind of like gonna rip me off. You can calm your mind and hear more of a human. It's like, prayer is like what meditation is sold as. You know, people say if you meditate, you become this focused. No, there's no gratitude in meditation, right? If there's no grace, that's a homosexual prayer, bro. Also, meditation in Buddhism is Masonic, where it teaches you to empty your mind, meaning that the invisible forces of nature will enter it. And the Bible says keep your mind on guard at all times. At all times, even in your dream state. And there's something about a boy or a man that when you tell them, hey, be on guard, but all the time, not just some of the time. No, you don't have a Monday shift. You literally infinite all the time. When you're a man or a boy, this is like the best thing you can hear, right? For some reason, if you told me to do like be on guard Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, I'd be like, oh, this is too hard. But when I hear the Bible say be on guard always, I go, whoa, it's like a floodgate. You open it once, the demons pour in. Okay. And I love being on guard always. I love it. That's like a crusader feeling. Even if you're bad at it, right? I love that absolute, that it's like God expects me to have that much control of my conscious solar mind. And that's kind of hard to do. How can I be on guard always? And then you realize, oh, you drop your guard, you're having beers with bitches, and boom, your guard gets strong again, and you go do a stream and you don't fuck the whores. Like you snap into it again and again. And the problem with prayer and worship is people don't like snapping out of it. You know, I'm back an atheist, I'm this, I'm that. The fun part is mastering snapping back into your like Holy Spirit state, right? That's the fun part. It's like you can master going back into it quicker. Punch harder, food tastes better, everything like that. And grace is really the word, right? Like prayers are they have to be grateful. Even for the enemies you face. Like, you don't pray for your enemies, blah, blah, blah. But you pray you have them, that like you're showing God this performance against them.
First of all, when you pray, you should be showered and clean. That's how I do it. You should. Some people pray, they're like sweaty and shit like that, or you fuck the dude and pray, like what the fuck?
Anything that's an attack on the Trinity it's an attack on Jesus, right? Because really they're making you a lukewarm Christian so you're ready to adopt Islam. That's literally what this attack is. Or for those Jews for Jesus types, and it's like, and you know what's funny is they're all unsure. They're all sure that Jesus is the most important, but they're unsure. Only the Christian is certain, right? When it hits you, you go, oh shit. 3 billion people who believe in Christ throughout all human history. It's this guy, this guy, this guy. This is the main character. This is like, they try to tell you Thor was popular. Nope. Pagan gods. Nope. Canaanite gods. Nope. It's all fake news. They love to pretend there were gods as popular as Christ. Not even close. Actually, most gods didn't exist for hundreds and thousands of years. They were getting swapped quickly, bro. Christ's timeline, resume, clout, power level, ability to change lives, like it's unmeasured how powerful Christ is. It's unmeasured, right? And all these people who reduce Christ into just a human, they're actually telling you their religion is losing to a human. That the human actually is touching more souls. That's how overpowered Christ is. Christ is so powerful that when they nerf him as a human, he still wins the game by thousands of years, or actually the whole timeline. This is not a pagan, this is not a Thor, there's never been a story this powerful. Jesus' story is so fucking ingrained into your psyche and DNA. Sacrifice is the only word that, is the boiling point of family. It's the only family unit word. There's no other word. Anything else, well, strong and Allah is this, and sacrifice is the word. That's it. There's nothing else. This is the only word that matters. This is the only, you could pick one fucking word from all words on earth to fucking live by, and this one will do you the most justice, the most good. If your God is not sacrifice, your God looks pathetic, because there is a God that is sacrifice. You understand? The story is in your DNA already. You don't even need to read the Bible. It's already there. You already agree with it, nigga. You ever seen an immigrant dad? Be like, yo, dad, what'd you do if a burglar came in? I killed myself. I killed myself for you guys. I fucking jump in front of bullets. You guys escape. I kill myself. And you go, bro, why is he programmed to do that, like immigrant shit, bro? I'm tired of these kind of little faggy, bro. And I'm like, Dad, chill the fuck out. Like, why are you doing that, bro? There's no black guy in here. And then you realize, like, dads are programmed to, like, even a hypothetical threat, they need to jump in front of bullets. They need to follow the father, right? Father, right? So sacrifice is everything. Bro, what knowledge is the vision of the primitive soul, the innocent soul, the child soul that does not commit suicide, the puberty soul, the sexual soul, that one. Teenagers commit suicide and young adults, and the primitive soul is like goo goo gaga, euphoria, happiness. You know, if you take out the material world and just leave the primitive baby soul, it's the closest thing to source. The more you divide with knowledge, the more you become a pedophile, murderer, billionaire. You learn, cheat, lie, steal, become like a real human. Disgusting. Primitive is not a bad word in spirituality. It's actually the best word. Right? Because it's away from division. Okay, that's Plato. I think this is a weak form of prayer. When you say, God, reveal to me what's the next step. It's almost like a lazy vagueness. I focus on what I think the next step is, and I go, if it's obvious, I'll know. God will make it fucking known to me. Right? It's like you have the answer already, you just don't want to face it. Break up with the whore. God wants you to break up with the whore. Right? I know I should break up with the whore. So you kind of have to go in with like, what answer are you suffocating and hiding, and just reveal it to God, and he goes, break up with the whore. But if your prayer looks like, well, I need the next step, it's Tuesday. It's very fucking vague, lazy type of like, there's no, bro, God wants a relationship. Put some effort. You put more effort fucking your girlfriend than you do on that prayer. Prayer is fun. Prayer is like, it's awesome, dude. Prayer is like, when the minute you realize you spend so much brain power impressing your date and zero brain power during prayer and mass, is the second you realize none of your actions align with who you are. You're a faggot and a phony. And it's so weird. It's like, the biggest fear is the prayer is going to take up more time of my day. If it takes hours of me walking around to clear my mind to even set up for it, dude, you get 10 more hours of surging energy. It's so worth it. Right? I've missed 4 hours of work every day just to have a 5-minute prayer. Worked great for me. I will trade the time for surges of energy that last forever. Are you crazy? And it's like, careful. When you're putting career above worship, you're losing life. You put your date above worship, you're losing life. Because you really think it's about the material world. You're like, oh, well, the date's real and God is like 50-50. No, it's the other way around, bro. Yeah, I think the most important part of prayer is preparation, because in the good old days, they didn't have to clear their minds as much. We have movie, TV, media. car noises. If you try and pray in the city, I almost cried, bro. Getting away from car noises takes so long, man. It's so fucking hard. Then walk around the whole fucking city. You gotta remember all the subversion, the Jesuits were like Jews in suits, right? You know, like, I don't know. Well, you gotta remember all depictions of Christ, they are perverted. They literally paint him feminine on purpose. The church I go to in Miami, you guys know where I go, right? The church that I go to has the best fucking statue of Jesus I've ever seen, with the masculine features of the Father, the symmetry, the beauty, the robe as like the Holy Spirit just fucking covering you up, right? But also the hope of Christ. It's like the perfect Trinity. This statue, immediately I take fucking HD photos. I got a videographer I paid money for just to fucking drive here and get me perfect screenshots of the statue that are better than Google so I can have it on my phone. Because that's how I need to see Christ, not the feminine, homosexual way they paint him during the Enlightenment. This is subversion, dude. It's the Father. It's not the fucking mother, bro. They do it on purpose. Why I've never said this live is 99% of Catholics would kill me for saying this. But I genuinely believe a lot of it is they fucked with us. I genuinely believe that. I'm not like Nick that goes, everything's right. I genuinely believe the devil's got his fingers everywhere, and it's like the text he can't touch, right? But man, are humans sinful and perverted. So that's number one. What I did before I found the statue, because this is going to sound crazy, I go to different Catholic churches. I'll go to an hour drive away. I love changing it up. Love it. I love it when it's a field trip and it's just me. Sometimes I bring a girl with me. I don't sit with her. I'll sit very far away and stuff. But like I try and get her into like that habit of there's no brunch, bitch. It's Sunday. Let's go. And I love when it's field trip. I love seeing different artwork or seeing different fucking parts of the town and how these people dress in suits and ties for church and these people don't. And you know, it's cool. I like to see the community where they're at. And really, the strongest Catholics are always the old ladies in there. It's kind of sad. Like, the men look like they gave up, especially the older men, right? Like, we all just take our hats off and suffer. But the old ladies that are, like, fucking 70, dude, they look, you know, they inspire me. I'm like, whoa. Like, the boomers, they always look like they're the strongest in the church, like, when they pray. You know, like, they're really synchronized. And, but what I did before this to cope, because I really will never, ever accept a feminine God, and this is why it took me so long to even come this way, I drew my own Christ. Literally drew exactly what I'm thinking. And I would keep it on my screensaver, make art about it, identical of like what I think it is. Which just doesn't really matter. It's like, for me, visuals are so important. But yeah, like if you really need a screensaver of Jesus, that should take you maybe, it took me 4 months of searching artwork. You should find something that keeps calling back to you. If you just go with the Jesus that's at your fucking Protestant church or whatever the fuck, dude, you could like really weaken your own faith, thinking it's like some frail man, and you know what I mean? I hate how churches look nowadays. Like I actually want to burn down the church. When I think of how fucking gigatech they were, and now they're making them into pink buildings and the Catholic ones look gay, and it's like, bro, I kind of just want to make $100 million so I could be like, take that fucking church down, let's do it correct. Brick, and make it fucking look like cathedrals. I went to my first cathedral in Barcelona. Fucking brilliant, bro. And I was an atheist back then, but look at this.
Accept Jesus Christ as your Lord and Savior, or admit he's just a man that's bigger than your God. Any way you slice it, I don't know which side you get more raped, dude. This is, why has no Christian ever thought of this argument? I was like, I'm sure someone could beat this. I started Googling around and I'm like, damn, this argument is like Exodia. It's kind of over. Like, imagine admitting your God is smaller than just a slave man getting whipped. You know what I mean? It would be like, it's pretty much saying you have to blaspheme to win this debate. And then everyone's like, fuck, I don't want to blaspheme, bro. You go to prison, you pick up the Bible, and you don't leave prison a gay rapist. You leave as a good man. No other book. You think Elon Musk's book can do that? Or Jordan Belfort's book? Or can any book do that? When you look at what Jesus comes down to numerologically, it's 888. 8 is power and money. 3, Trinity of creativity. 3 power 8s. All the money and power is with this name Jesus, but it reduces down to a Pythagoras 6. And 6 is constrictive energy and family and at home. Meaning Jesus and a Christian life gives you the most power and money, but not to conquer the world, just for your home life. To build a wall and a good family and a big farm and a ranch. You get as much power and money as you can being a Christian, but you get limited to the family, whereas the Jews and the Muslims can just take over the world. But the Muslims didn't do it, the others did. Jesus is literally, for thousands of years, the answer. As soon as we walked away from Jesus, we cut our cocks off and called ourselves trans. Did you know that transgender movement is actually just separation from church? It's not actually a great idea. It's not to be a woman or a man. It's literally the byproduct of separating man from the church. And let's say you were right and it was just a fairy tale. My nigga, that fairy tale fixes the world. I'll still fight for a fairy tale. Bro, depression is spiritual illness. It's not a chemical imbalance. If it was a chemical imbalance, you would have to say everything is chemicals. It's just dopamine. You'd have to say, I love my mom because of dopamine. Yeah? There's dopamine. You want to do chemicals? You love your mom like the line of coke? Makes no fucking sense. Check this out. Let me tell you how powerful Jesus is, man. I am the biggest Christian hater that ever existed. You know how much shit talking I've done to all religions as I grew up? Up until 24 years old, I loved learning about it, but I found it like every religious person is a slave to that religion. That's what I found it like. But how can you be a slave to that system when it's the hardest one to adhere to? Think of it like this. If I said watch porn and play video games all day, that's your religion, the, neoliberal religion of the secular faggot. Now you're a slave. Because now you're covered in cum, you're a slave to that misery. That's an easy thing to be a slave to. We've all been a slave to porn and all that dumb shit. But if you said live a righteous life, every day you gotta be better, you have all these rules, I'd say, bro, this is not, there's no way that's a slave system, because no slave wants to go through all that. I'd rather jack off and play video games. How can it be a slave system when it's literally like you need a black belt to do it? Religion is the furthest thing from a slave system. And what's weird is even people who hate religion they all admit this. There's no net bad with religion. Any human you attach that new oversoul of Christianity to their psyche, they become a better person. What is one negative a human gains from religion? One negative. If you can give me one negative. You know how hard it is to find a religious negative? Even for the other religions I don't even believe in. But there's nothing. Someone said money? Sure, you can make way more money with the devil. It's his material world, blah, blah, blah. But what is money without peace of mind? If I suck the dick and I'm in a Ferrari, am I in a Ferrari or am I sucking dick down the highway in my head trying to fucking blast myself? I don't feel like a man. This V12 don't do shit for me. But if I'm a Christian, a fucking streamer, signed to Eddie and Kick, millionaire, motherfucker, and I pull up, I go, hey, yo, you're a faggot for sucking dick, Doherty. Boom, skirt. Now I'm enjoying the Ferrari, peace of mind, and my dick is hard for my fucking wife. That's what it is. Because look at this. Look at the white people. Christians have the highest level of success with peace of mind. Jews took out the peace of mind and have a much higher level of success with the devil. If you're not Christian, Buddhist, Muslim, whatever, you're with the devil. Do you really believe that I would sound the way I sound if I was not convicted in fucking the Holy Ghost? Fuck no, bro. And people who have this fucking energy, these Christians in the ancient times got their heads cut off. They're like, we're gonna cut your head off if you don't convert. And they said, my nigga is Jesus, cut my head off. What could make a human do that? What could make a human willingly get their head cut off for just a fairy tale? And I'll tell you this, the difference from man and an animal is a man will die for something. A man will die for an idea. If I was shot dead today, and before they shoot me, they go, Jesus is a fairy tale, I go, pull the fucking trigger and let me find out for myself, because I don't believe no man. Man jacks off and is covered in fucking dried cum. Man is pathetic and useless. I don't idol worship. Fuck all. What Christian doesn't sin? Name one fucking Christian that doesn't sin. The point is not that you snap your fingers and become perfect. The point is you have a mental guard from suicide for a life. For a life that when, my dude, you're gonna get older, knock on wood, you're gonna deal with losing family members. Do you want to go through that tragedy without God in your fucking psyche? The psyche comes from the word mind and soul. Throughout history, it was always about soul. They just recently changed it. My dude, let me tell you this, man. Let me tell you this. You don't want to walk by a homeless person as an atheist. You'll never feed them shit.
Holding in your semen and sperm and not busting a load for a solar cycle for the whole summer regenerates blood cells and you maintain your youth. It's like stronger than fasting. That's why they make us bust so many nuts. They don't want you to live 500 years.
We're either born woman or man. Biologically, physically, you can only be one or the other. Either penis or vagina. Yin, yang, positive charge, or female, negative charge. From a bioelectrical magnetic level, men are positively charged, women are negatively charged. What happens when the positive vertical is combined with the negative horizontal? You get a cross, a union of opposites, which is the male and the female, or the Star of David, the Seal of Solomon, the union of the contrasting opposites, the astral fire flame of intimacy and sex. We have the cross. That's why batteries and light bulbs need positive and negative charges. Energy flows through the currents, and then there's life and light. What happens if there's too much unstable energy? Electricity explodes, or in other words, something negative. Orgasm. And there's no more light or energy. No more attraction between male and female, positive, negative currents. Darkness arises. Trouble starts happening in paradise. Passion turning to lust is what damages this vibratory energy we build throughout the week. The week is the 7 seals of Revelation. Those 7 days is that energy building. Do not identify attached to that pleasure, always wanting more of that heroin energy. Fapping is bad. If you want to enjoy it in its fullness and purity, you do not bust. Even with your partner, it only fuels more passion if you keep busting. You're not supposed to let go of the energy. You will hate your partner. That's why when you bust, you forget to tell your partner you love them. Kiss them goodnight. You just go to sleep. And it's very dark and not your higher self. What are we making? Love or death? It means death of consciousness when you bust. Love is not pleasure or desire. Love is a gift. They can only be given. You cannot buy it. Marriage is sex. Sex is marriage. The partner, the girlfriend, the slut, whoever you have, is your cosmic marriage. Even if it's just for a week with her. That is sexual union. That is cosmic marriage. That's how this works. It's not what they tell you on the television. If you have a casual girlfriend, maybe she'll be my wife one day. Bro, she's already your wife if you're hitting it. In the spiritual plane, this is how it works. She's your wife, dude. That behind the dumpster, Wendy's dumpster hole is your wife. I am judging you. You can only have one partner to achieve these higher minds, states of non-dual consciousness, eternal bliss. Two people have electric makeup, and through sex they become one. Two magnets having one energy field when they are linked. This is science. It's not spirit science, it's real science. If you release that energy, then you bust. You release that energy and you fall into darkness. You stop liking your partner, and the magnets repel each other. You and your partner start to dislike each other. You're no longer interested in your partner, your woman, your F-slur. For women, busting will be irritation, dissatisfaction, but it's not that bad. They can bust sometimes, but the man cannot, because he will hate her. That's why if you have think of your best dates with your crush or someone you had a bond with, those you go to a party and you guys maybe like go to the bathroom and you mix your beard up a bit with your girlfriend, and then you guys start bang bang doing it in there, and then someone knocked on the door. Nobody busts. You leave. You go back to the party, and you and your girl just energetically attached to each other. Deeper laughs, deeper intellectual conversations, more psychic connection, telekinetic powers, more infinitely more loyal, because you didn't bust. And that's why these chicks who are like all about, I'm gonna make a bust, they have no game. I'm not saying don't rub me. Say don't rub me that much. Lovemaking is never supposed to cease, even after the sexual act. So yeah, you walk around with her, you go to the beach, finish the ritual without busting, no orgasm. There's a vibrant aura you can see in couples who edge like this in a deep loving connection. Even after the act, they're like this. Their purity can be enjoyed by their friends, their aura, their pure aura. Everyone feels that loving aura. Affection is deepened between the couple. Or go back to your 70% divorce rate. You don't want that. What we call the honeymoon period should never end. Think of your first love. Explosion of light. Electromagnetic pulse in your heart. Thinking of her. It was bliss that changed your whole world, you little simp. That is the truest form of love. And it's fleeting and gone because you extinguish the flame being a little slut. All argument and friction happens when you abuse this attraction principle. You extinguish this sexual fire and then you hate each other. Your meditative state builds as she teases you, but she's loyal to just you. But that teasing, it's a long process. As much as it feels like it sucks, you become a stronger mind through this alchemical wedding of the opposites. Talk to your bitch and tell her. In ancient times, prostitutes were a more holy job, and they were used to build up young men and their sexual meditative practices. I'm not saying it's good or bad. I'm just saying this is history that has been hidden from you. You must sanctify this energy in a conscious way, in a teamwork way, with your bitch. Once you and your partner get good at this, then you can even do some shaming, whipping, spanking, make the game harder and louder. But you guys don't bust. You guys are a team. It must be slow, sweet words, tender, caressing. It must start slow. That's how you build the flame. You can't just go into it. You're not animals. You're building bond here. You're not building a big breakup. No animal energy. That comes later.
And the sun and the moon perfectly eclipse. Not because the sun is 93 million miles away and the Goldilocks zone. They perfectly eclipse. And we don't explain really well why it eclipses. Like ancient Mayans said it's Rahu, right? There's a third entity eating. We don't know, but it's actually, it's supercharged. So that when the sun and the moon bathe together, that is the Seal of Solomon, the upwards triangle of male, fire, and female, water, coming into the Star of David. That fusion is what happens when male and female becomes one. You become God, apparently. And that's why these ancient Gnostics, Ophites, Canaanites, everyone who's like learning, how can I be like God? How can I think like God? Oh, God doesn't eat. So they fasted. God doesn't pee. They didn't drink. God doesn't eat. They start starving. God doesn't do anything. They stand still, and they stay there for fucking weeks, drying up to enter these levels of gnosis, psychic gnosis, right? And there's a faster way through homosexual sex, perversion, dirt, anything non-holy. And that's Aleister Crowley's way. But yeah, they're both bad. The moon is actually the feminine principle of passive and gently encouraging the sun to lap it and go faster and recharge. The moon, the word month comes from the word moon. It's a cycle. The moon charges into a full moon
like a period,
and then fades away. Exactly. Yeah. It is the feminine principle. It's passive, gentle with the tide. But you need it. You have to have a wife, right? That's pro-life. The male principle is active. This is like this, right? It goes forward. It's solar. You need, when you understand depression, and really if you're sick, getting sniffles and you get depressed faster, your aura's down. This is according to Masonic science, occult science. Maybe you don't buy into this stuff, but this is what Queen Elizabeth actually admits she studies and shit. This is what they all study. They don't study COVID and shit, but if you're depressed, notice how active you've been. Have you been showering, working, going to the gym, doing? It's the least activity, but that's the masculine principle. So when people are like, Zherka, like a lot of my girlfriends have said, you know, you overdosed on masculinity. I can't bear this. I can't live with you. Then we break up, and a year later, they're like, well, it's not that they come back. When we break up, they know they're never coming back. They go like this. I can never date a guy, John. Like literally, one tried to take her life 4 years ago. And she's like, I have never in my life seen anyone as a man after you. Like they're all faggots to her. She starts saying the word faggot. And I'm thinking to myself, yeah, you know, I almost went to jail. I got beaten up. I got jumped. I love that I overdosed on masculinity. It was the greatest decision of my life.
What happened at the decline of Christianity? It wasn't just gay rainbow shit. The Mars energy came out through the red pill, right? Because we have an issue with our anima. Men are too... What is the issue? Men are too soft? You know why I think men are soft? Because when I meet hard men, I still see them soft, or around their wives, they're soft. And I go, whoa.
If you have 100 girls, you're a homosexual. You know what my dad told me? My dad said any dude who's a player is a homosexual. Why? Because he's addicted to deviancy. He's not doing it for multiple women. A real man has one. That's how it's always been. Okay. And it's in the Bible too, yeah.
Masculine is all the intellect, and you are all of the intuitive energy. Like, did you know men can be rock stars at work? They can make millions of dollars, but they can't pick up if their wife's cheating on them. That's how pathetic men have become. You have to reconcile the opposites. The lunar and the solar in your brain have to be balanced so you can have a happy wife and make a ton of money. Men can, you know, like a rat in a maze? Basically, if women and men were in that maze, men's cognitive abilities are almost 1,000 times higher than women. Like, check this out. A drunk male airplane pilot is a better pilot than a sober female pilot if they're both under stress. So she does great landing the plane, but if there's something wrong with the plane and fight or flight kicks in, she cannot tap into the active, the solar principle, which is active. She becomes passive. That's why if there's like a shooter in town, women freeze and men are active. Because women in danger are passive. Just like the moon is passive, the tides, nurturing. Men are active. There's never been one female philosopher in history. And it's been thousands of years. For thousands of years, there's not one philosopher. The biggest minds are philosophers. There's not one that was a woman. Name one female philosopher. All of the greatest chefs on earth are men, not just Gordon Ramsay. Like, women can't even beat them in the kitchen. Been in the workforce for 40 years and have produced nothing. 40-year project, and they're less happy now. What the fuck was that? Like, as the purchasing power rocketed through that egalitarian Western equality shit, as everyone got rich, women and men, and women are in the workforce for the last 40 years, their happiness has declined. To me, the most traumatizing thing is women working all day. It seems like, have you seen those soulless women? They're always women who work all day. Is your room cozy?
Yeah.
Yeah, that cozy energy. Men, we don't really have that. Like, it's a piece of shit here. I don't really take care of it because I travel, I do other things, I like adventure. Women, that cozy feeling, when it starts to go away, they lose their sanity. And parents cannot give them that cozy feeling. Only a husband can. So if they don't have a husband and kids, they lose their fucking mind. That's why 40-year-old women who are not married scare you. Like, they literally scare you. You go, whoa, back up, woman. They're terrifying people. And 80% of single mother-raised children are criminals. But single dads, their kids are intelligent rock stars. If thousands of years have passed and no female philosopher has come out, that's like, I'm sorry to say this, but sometimes I think a dog is more intelligent than a woman, because at least a dog can be happy. Like, a woman can have a $1 million mansion and she's like, oh, I hate my OnlyFans whore life. Like, at least a dog, you know what I mean? Or like, a dog knows when it's in danger, but women will go to a nightclub and drink from 5 black guys, GHB shots, and they'll get drunk and plastered around like 5 rapists. Or they'll go to a party plastered drunk around like 5 creepy dudes. And they'll just, it's like crazy to me that they put themselves in scenarios where they can get raped all the time. When I worked in nightclubs, I'd see these guys creeping on one girl, and I'd be like, get this drunk girl out the club, get her an Uber home, blah, blah, blah. And next week she'd be at the club, drunk as fuck, being taken advantage of by these drunk slobs again and again. And at some point, after like 5 times rescuing this girl with my team, I was like, well, if there's sharks in the ocean, bitch, why are you jumping in there? And you don't see dogs do that. If a dog senses a bit of danger, it just runs away. Women are fucking mentally ill. Like, they need to be told, don't go to the rapist club. Or they'll say things like, 4 of my friends got raped at that club. Are we going there tonight? Yeah, I know the owner. There's no way a dog can be out of danger more than... A wild dog is in less danger than a fucking modern day woman. Right? It's wild to me. Did you know Ted Bundy had women write to him love letters? When he was out strangling, raping, and murdering women, he had women, healthy-minded women, right, writing love letters to a murderer. Like, that is fucking insane, bro.
Red pill is just liberalism. It's hookup culture. It's identical to the social values of maximizing individual liberty as long as it doesn't hurt anyone or private property. It's like, it's identical. Like, it's so offensive that red pill is considered. When I think of red pill, I think of a raging incel, so I like the word. But what red pill really means to most people is that gay liberalism, but liberalism in a sense where the man has more authority over the woman, but the man and the woman are still whores because, well, no, she can't sleep around at all. She doesn't have marriage. You gotta, bro, you can't sexually liberate women and expect them to behave. So, like, think about it. What do you mean you're gonna fuck a bunch of bitches, she's just gonna fuck you, and there's no marriage in the red pill? Bro, you don't give women marriage, you'll always be fucking whores.
Do you think that whites are the supreme race, Zherka?
Yes.
Why?
Because it's all anyone ever talks about, right? Like if the whole world is disputing whether they're the best, they don't dispute whether Arabs or Asians. It's always the white man. If the whole world, it's like if we're all disputing, yo, is Sonic the Hedgehog the fastest hedgehog on Earth? Is he for thousands of years? What are you disputing? Why aren't you disputing any other characters? Because there's clearly truth there. Number two, all of human history would look the same if you took out other races. If you deleted other races, history doesn't change at all. Like, if you take out the white man, the power goes up, the internet is gone, everyone's chopping each other's heads off. If you delete the white man from history, and a lot of people critique me because they're like, bro, you make it sound more extreme than religion. Obviously, religion's number one, but that's not how humans work. It's called the human race because it's a race to the top, and if you slip one position, people kill you. That's why in South Africa, when the whites became a minority, they got killed, right? Have you noticed that even when they don't have, this is so bad what I'm going to say, like my people will get angry, but the white man is so pure that even when he doesn't have religion, like Sweden, there's no crime. Even when you take out their holy book, which evolves the man's psyche over time, right? Everyone needs a holy book, right? Even when you take out Christianity, their collective unconscious is still forgiving like Christ. That's why in Sweden there's no crime. I mean, you go to white nations and you just look around and you go, holy shit, they really understand teamwork. This is like a higher intelligence. And if psyche is the definition of mind and soul, then, all souls are equal, but it seems like the white soul, it's got more, well, I guess they were the most loyal to the cross. That's why they got rewarded this hard. But everywhere you look in history, white people don't conquer and make it worse. They make it better for everyone. Look at the blacks in Africa versus the Jay-Z's of America. Black people benefited from.
What are you talking about?
I'm not saying while it was happening. I'm not saying I want slavery to happen right now. I'm saying the byproduct of being around a white man was that the black man stopped chucking his spear and became Jay-Z. They became billionaires. They became Kanye's, Yeezy West. And there's a lot of, I don't believe in Helena Blavatsky, but she even said, she said bad things about Jesus, just like those Eastern mystics. But she said that the white man is the most evolved soul. Now, I believe all souls are equal, but why else would the benefiters, that Arabs and blacks and Asians, they all talk about the white man being the benefiter of all these blessings, but they stole it. Okay, besides the point, doesn't it just make sense that they held Jesus close and got rewarded for it the best?
Women are, how you say, genetically inferior to men in every single metric. Even nursing, like a male nurse can carry a dead patient, whereas a woman will struggle with your, dying grandmother. All right, granny can't get picked up by a woman, and they're good at nursing. They're supposed to be good at it, but would you rather want a male nurse or a female nurse to pick up your dead grandma? Like granny didn't get her vax type shit. Women can't actually think. They're not even designed to think. Women are designed to play. That's why they're the passive principle in nature. Women can only work 4 to 8 years in a whole 100-year period. Like, do you really know any women who are going to be working 90 years in a row? That doesn't exist. That's never happened in the history of ever. The only time you see a woman work for 20 years straight, double click the bitch's profile and it's part-time. It's every single time it's part-time. There's no full-time 20 years straight woman working. You can't work if you're a woman because the woman's brain is not designed to think. That's why they make millions, but they got nothing to show for it. That's why they need men. Because men say, hey, why don't you invest that money instead of buying that IKEA couch? You know, men help them out. If geniuses banged women would actually be smart. They'd be capable of thinking. But who bangs most women? It's definitely not the nerds. It's the retard cavemen chads. That's why women are so dumb. There's psychic transfers happening. To the ancestral level. There's only from 8 billion people on Earth, they say, only 1% of the world's population is straight. It's the most rare thing to find ever, and they flipped it on its head. Billions of men watching this would suck a dick for $1 million. How the fuck are you gonna call them straight? If they're straight, what am I, super straight? Get the fuck out of here, there's no spectrum.
No one here has ever had a real banana. Google real banana and look what it looks like. The yellow banana you're eating is as fake as McDonald's. It regenerates blood cells if you eat real food.
99% of life is looking good. Like, think of if you're homeless and poor but you look good, you're not depressed, bro. I found out, check this out, bro. When you look good, you feel good. When you feel good, you get good results. So go to the gym, bro. What if you get everything you want and you become DJ Khaled? Bitches, money, mansion, whatever. And then you're just sitting there with a fat gut and tits, hairy tits with hair on them. And you're just sitting there like, wow, I made it in life. Is that really a win? Fuck no. First of all, if you Google what a real banana looks like, there's very few.
Look like this shit here.
Yeah, these are not real bananas. And when you eat these real foods, you never experience bloat or any of that weird stomach stuff. Yes. And you take magical shits. You take the cleanest shits. It's like what the fuck, right?
Under some correct coaching, or even just being self-aware, you can look 30 to 40% more attractive in literally 20 days. Like 40% better looking. You can go to one podcast looking ugly and one podcast looking like a Greek god. You can change a lot of bloat and lymphatic drainage. You can do a bunch of things for yourself with diet, with stress levels, with cortisol and everything. And you can look 40% more attractive. To look better, to be healthier is to love yourself, man. Is to take care of that temple God gave you. And when you look at these bitches, they don't love themselves. That's why an obese person, you try and say, well, you know, like I feel bad for them and stuff. But deep down, when you see an obese person, your instinct is, who the fuck did that to you? What happened to you? Like, you have a gun. How are you 450 pounds? Why do you hate the temple that much? There's no way you're off course this much. And it's really sad because if you're not in esoteric circles, you've never had a mentor, you don't understand anything I talk about, you don't understand the clairvoyant capacity of seeing human aura. Like if you've ever wanted to look at a human's atmosphere, you want to see human's aura, the Aru Mazda, right? The aura of the sun even, right? If you want to see a human's aura and you don't have the capacity, look at an obese person. What do you think all of that round shape is? When you see a 450-pound oval-looking human growing right from the equator outwards, with their gut hanging around lower than their balls, right? You're seeing them fill up their aura with flesh. There's an egg-shaped astral aura around you, and it's not supposed to be filled up with physical matter, which is the body.
Paracelsus said the dose makes the poison. So if you have trouble with hoes, that's because you're dating 10. Lower it to 1 and it'll be 0 very soon. The dose makes the poison. The poison is not, there's no such thing as poison. You can have a bit of McDonald's, not a lot. The dose makes the poison. That's Hohenheim. And Paracelsus also said, as the greatest physician on earth, dealing with sick people and stuff, he said the number one reason why people get sick and why he prescribed Christianity to people is when people lie, they get sick faster. That's why we get angry when we see people down on their luck or diseased and stuff. I never thought of a moral component to your health, but yeah, when you're lying, you're hiding stuff, and that's a pressure. There's a psychic tension. That's why screamers who hide, they go mentally insane, or they cope with drugs or whatever for as long as they can. But he also did some crazy shit. Like Paracelsus would work with dead bodies by the end of his career. Like he was the greatest physician. Well, he was studying medicine, right? He was obsessed with. He said medicine, the esoteric side of medicine, guys. This is the founder and father of all physicians that came after, right? He said the three components of medicine is, number one, the biggest one is love. Yeah, so you guys better love your children if you want them to be healthy. 2, astrological timing, right? Zodiac alignments. There's certain stuff, there's certain babies born on certain months. Interesting stuff. And 3 will be herbal and all these natural homeopathic medicines depending on your race.
From the stuff I researched, how to deepen your conscious soul or mind, or like, let's say, Pina or whatever, the number 3 things you can do, 1 was fast until you're literally dying. Apparently that freezes aging, right? So fasting is the number 1 thing you can do for your soul, your conscious brain, your male side of the brain, right, that you need to focus on. The next one was getting so much sun while napping with your wife, with your love partner. You have to nap with her.